Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wargaming.net League 2017 fall season. I am James Rockstar Green, joined alongside by Randall Ruka Holcomb. Today is Matchday 14, the last day of the regular season.
And we're going to find some crazy stuff out tonight because there are potential ties every which way. The possibilities are endless.
Only two teams cannot move up and down, but we'll get to that in a minute. First, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at WGLNA and use that hashtag WGLNA to let us know your thoughts. Let us know who you think is going to win tonight, who's going to secure the second place spot to our playoffs, and so forth. And also, make sure you follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/WGLNA for the Facebook Live pre-show every single match day, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern. Get all your fantasy advice about tanks, pretty much anything you want to come and talk to us about.
Yeah, we pretty much answer questions for a little while. So just come on over. Same thing happens afterwards over on twitch.tv/wargaming. And then go to fantasytanks.com. I believe, James, we have it confirmed that it will be running for our
both the playoffs and the finals.
There you have it.
There'll be more fantasy prizes coming your guys' way.
Yeah, so don't miss out. Don't stop playing. Don't stop competing. It's never too late. Now that we've got that out of the way, James, let's talk about today. Standings first. Let's take a look at those as we go into today, guys. Look at Elevate on top there on 37. They don't need to even show up and try, but they will.
They cannot go anywhere. No one can catch them. Then looking down at the bottom, remember there was two teams I said that can't go anywhere. The other one's going to be poor little 07 down at the bottom. They only have 4 points. They cannot catch F7. Everyone else can move up or down. There's the last playoff spot up for grabs in 6th place. It could be Aquatic M60s or F7. Thing to note there, F7 have the tiebreaker over Aquatic M60. So if they're tied on points, it will be F7 in 6th place at the end of the night.
Yep, it's huge for F7 to get any kind of points today. That would be massive for them. Same for Aquatic.
And then looking up further on the table, Eclipse versus Dare Rising. The way this works out between Eclipse, Dare, Top Tier, and Teal Team 6, the tiebreakers go like this. If they are tied on points, Top Tier has the tiebreaker over everyone. Then Teal Team 6 falls next, then Eclipse, and then Dare. So that's only if the teams end up tied and not ahead on points. So right now, Eclipse sit in 2nd place because they are tied with Dare and they have the tiebreaker. If somehow Eclipse can lose to 07 tonight, then that's where Teal Team 6, if they can win, they can tie with Eclipse. They could still theoretically take that 2nd place spot depending on the other results.
Yeah, but that even ignores like all the other craziness that's going on. The Top Tier as well, being able to jump up a few points. If they manage to do really well over against F7, they'll be our first match tonight. We'll see if Top Tier can jump up to 2nd potentially. Elevate versus Dare.
That's pretty much a must-win for Dare to try to get that 2nd place spot. Once again, doesn't matter though, because if Eclipse beat 07 in our 2nd offline match, that means that it's going to be Eclipse confirming that they are taking that 2nd place spot, and no one else can do that. Eclipse are the only team tonight that control their own destiny.
Yes. And, well, Aquatic versus Teal Team 6. We'll be checking out those results and bringing those to you throughout the night. Hopefully, we'll be able to bring those to you before the end of match number 2.
Yep. Now, let's go ahead and get into our first match tonight, though, which is going to be F7 versus Top Tier. Now, F7, like we talked about in the last match, they made 2 roster changes at the last minute. Picked up Andy Pans and Makos from 07. Then also, other thing that got announced, get clicked on no longer calling for the team. It is Chase Potato and Knight sharing the calling duties.
Very important to note.
So with only this last match, everything on the line, trying to get that spot into playoffs. Keep in mind, this is only a spot for the online playoffs. This is not guaranteeing for the offline playoffs next month. So they really need to step it up and have a big game tonight.
Absolutely. On the other side, we're going to look at Top Tier, led by Rude Awakening. And checking on it, is he here tonight is the question. And it looks like he might not be here quite. No, he is here.
Yeah,
all right, so Rude's here.
Rude's here, so that's going to be big for them. Exits also returning to the starting lineup. And then Muriel, Akako, and Levtev have all been huge performers for that team so far this season. Delth had some health issues, hasn't played every match, but the days he has played pretty strong as well.
Yep. So that's both teams right there, a little preview of them. Expectations are looking very much Top Tier sided. F7 should be struggling with this one, but we will see how that performance ends up panning out.
Yep. Now, next thing to get into is going to be the maps. So let's see where they're going to end up fighting tonight.
All right, Proc and Cliff out first. Disappointed a little bit. I was hoping to see some Super Conk on Proc, but we'll deal with that. Looking after that, though, Ruinberg and Murro coming out. Ruinberg, I'm interested to see how that's going to work it with the slight changes that we've seen from patch that dropped yesterday. And then Murro as well. I'm going to be looking forward to see some Super Conk on that.
Yeah, definitely. It could play, especially we've seen Vetro a lot recently play a 2-1-5B, and a few other teams use the 2-1-5B. Super Conqueror can play the same sort of role. It's basically the same type of tank, but it has a center mounted turret, a little bit of spaced armor, could come into play. Then looking later, we will get to Mines and Ghost Town between these two teams. Now, Mines being a 1-in-1 map, top tier have shown that they can break those defenses, though. So if F7 are naive enough to run a cookie cutter defense they've been trying, I don't think that'll go that well to them. And then Ghost Town, with top tier being the great brawlers that they are, having that coordination, that's going to be a tough one for F7. And then the tiebreaker will be Ruinberg, which we'll see in the first map. So if somehow it gets that far, it will be a repeat.
Yeah. So altogether, looks dangerous for F7.
Yeah, they need to really step it up if they're going to have a chance, especially if top tier are playing at their top game. They remember, this is a top tier that last match day took Elevate down for the first time in a year, 5-4 in overtime. No one else has been able to even get them to overtime, let alone take a win off of them. Yep. So now let's get into our predictions now that we know the maps.
Yes, so I think we all pretty much went with about the same score, 1-5. Most of us are expecting top tier to just kind of destroy F7, and I think my thoughts on this were F7 should be able to pick up a win, maybe somewhere in here, maybe one little win, because they're not bad at the game or anything. They're not going to be totally swamped. They should be able to pick up some wins, but altogether those wins are really only going to happen when they're confident and they know what they're doing, and they're not going to be bullied around by top tier, and that should be fairly rare.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree, and then you also coming in with that 5-1, so I think it kind of feels pretty much the same way we do. I would love F7 to do better than that, but top tier, like Comps even said when we were talking to them, the only team that they felt could touch them consistently would be top tier if they were practicing and really getting at it, and they showed the other day that they're ready for it. Now, the other thing to keep in mind about that Elevate thing, though, is that was Comps and Striker playing over Canadian Impact and Dodoma, so it wasn't their top lineup.
It was
still a
like
lineup that you expect to win, though.
Yeah, it was almost like they were taking the day off or just playing a relaxed kind of chill match, but that is what it is. But back to top tier F7 a little bit. What else do you think about this latest patch that could give F7 any room here?
Well, let's ask captains about it, because they're going to join us right now. So we can ask them about their thoughts on the new patch, and we are going to be joined by Halo for the first time this season, and Rude Awakening, as always, rocking that Patriots jersey. Jacket anyways.
Yep. All right, gentlemen, welcome back. Let's start with Halo. Halo, we just had a patch drop, and well, let's hear your thoughts on what your team's going to do with these changes and how you're going to incorporate some of those new tanks, or what changes into your gameplay.
Well, I haven't had the chance to play a lot. I've been really busy with other stuff, but we've incorporated some of the new changes. The light tank buffs were nice. They're no longer completely useless gun-wise, instead of just scouting around the map. And then Super Conqueror is a nice change. It's different than the 215B, so it'll be fun to see what role we use it in, and then also what other people do with it as well.
All right. Switching over then to Rude, we'll give you a chance at the same question. What do you think? New tanks, how do they play?
I think that the light tanks will have an impact in Gold League. The Super Conqueror is questionable at this point. We'll see also what happens with the 4005, if that gets incorporated back into a very special strat. But other than that, it's mostly just the light tanks that's going to make a difference.
All right, Rude. Now that we're here on the last match day of the regular season, earlier in the season we asked you, where you were at. You had a lot of issues with your roster and whatnot, and back then you said your team was at 8%. Now that the whole season has gone by, you guys have been putting up some good results. Where do you feel your team's at percentage-wise? Let's get an update.
Sure. So, we started off the season really rough. I had to start my new job, and that was really rough too. And then the last 3 weeks or whatever, I came back, and the team started getting back on the same page, and we're at like a solid, we're halfway there. We've made significant progress. The players themselves have made significant progress, and we've improved across the board.
All right. Now, same question to you, Halo. You've been with the team since the season started. You guys got some wins early on. You struggled a lot. You've had some rough results. But you're sitting right now in a playoff spot if you can hold on. Has the season gone the way you thought it would? Have you guys better, worse? Where are you feeling?
I think for me personally, it's gone about as what I expected. Obviously, we had hoped for better. But we had our ups and downs. I think the lack of gold experience really showed on our team this year. So hopefully we can fix that with Makos and Andes on the team. But yeah.
All right. Now, any final thoughts for Rude Awakening and Top Tier Halo?
Good luck, have fun, guys.
All right, Rude. Any final thoughts for Halo and F7?
Good luck. Have fun. And the first year in the Gold League is always tough. So you guys will do much better next year.
All right.
Thank you. We hope so too.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you on the battlefield in just a minute.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Some wise words there from Rude.
Yep. You can always depend on him to have some good insight. That's what you like about him. He's honestly a solid leader, and he really understands how to run a team. Yep. And there's a lot to learn from him.
Yeah, well, you got to remember also, it's kind of similar in this team in a certain way. If you can consider Siebel to Tweet their first year, they really struggled, and then Rude joined the team, and they even struggled early on when he was on Top Tier, kind of getting into form.
Yeah.
But then the second round robin and then into playoffs, that team got hot real fast.
Oh yes, and that's kind of just how Rude Awakening's teams tend to go. Yeah. It's something about the way you just mix him in. The chemistry he brings is just really nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if you look back to all the teams he's been on, you got the original Top Tier. You have Refuse for a while, and then Simp. And they're all teams that have gotten to that point where they just look so sharp, so well, and then things just happen and they just kind of fall apart. So hopefully the same thing does not happen to this current Top Tier lineup, because they are a lot of fun to watch.
That they are. And now we're counting down to the first battle of Ruinberg. It's going to be on defense Top Tier, on attack F7. And it's going to be down to F7 to start this one off strong. If they can get a win on attack here, that'll be that point we were expecting. But if you switch it over, maybe we can see a second win get picked up here or there. I mean, with F7 and Top Tier, we've known Top Tier to be hot and cold before. Right now, they're doing great. But maybe F7 can find some way of undermining that. That'll be their goal today, to figure out how to defeat the Goliath next to them.
Oh, and I'm looking at this lineup coming out at Top Tier right now, which we'll see in just a minute. If you look at it, Top Tier 113, 2 Mice, 3 Type 5s, and a Bat Chat. Meanwhile, F7, 2 113s, a 50B, 2 Mice, and 2 Bat Chats of their own.
Wow. 3 Type 5s. That's
on defense.
Yeah. I mean, I can see what you're thinking with it, but it seems very slow and hard to I feel like the DPM is going to be an issue. You're going to alpha a few tanks, but it's not going to quite kill them, and then get torn apart by the higher DPM of the 113s, 50Bs, Bat Chats.
Yeah, another thing to remember, though, is, with those HE shells, they can do a lot of damage very early on. One hit can do 600 damage at a time without it actually hitting a weak spot. So I definitely would think it's fine. Now, looking at the starting positions, we're going to have F7 sending 1 Bat Chat towards the north, along with 50B, Bat Chat, and the 113s heading to the south, and the Mice moving towards the Bat Chat in the north as well.
And then opening moves for Rude Awakening. Look at him going right down the middle there.
He is getting aggressive. He is trying to be a very active scout, and he's going to have 2 Type 5s as Overwatch.
Yeah, and this is a dangerous situation, but at the same time, the coverage on Rude Awakening is good. This is workable. And where Rude is right now, if that push comes towards Cap with Halo, Knight, and Andy, things are going to be okay. Because if we can see him get around on the flank and just get into the backfield, he'll be able to stop Cap way sooner than F7 would have normally expected. But as you can see, F7 still got some tanks down south. There's 2 113s, and
they're kind of hidden right now. And
there's a Bat Chat that's zoned right there, down south, and then you got Halo up north there. But with those 113 south, I guess the plan is probably to loop them around and come up the mid road, where they can, just like Chase Potato's doing right now, and create a bit of a screen.
I don't like this timing out of F7. The north has not been spotted, nor have they pushed in. These 113s are really susceptible to being overmatched.
Well, what this might do, James, it is risky, but think about what if Top Tier starts to think this is going to be a south push and begins shifting forces that way? Because who is it? Jojo, Jackie, and Exits. Let's go look at them.
The problem with that is the Bat Chat for Top Tier at Miro has that 0 line spotted and most of that field. So they're going to know that it's only those 2 113s there. Maybe a Bat Chat, but there's 2 Mice, a 50B, and another Bat Chat, not even anywhere near there. And I don't think top tier are the type of team that are going to make that knee-jerk reaction of shifting too many tanks too soon. The two mice, I don't see any reason why any more than maybe one of them would shift.
Yeah, but they are shifting 2 of the Type 5s, Exits and JoJo, off to the number 2 cap. So while they can generally shift back, they're not in position to necessarily.
But they may just be shifting to make sure they can cover Rude and or push into those 113s into that instant overmatch they'd have.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily an over-rotation since they were in that village, and the 2 mice are still watching that north cap, which means there's not going to be a fast cap that's going to be able to come out of F7.
We'll see what happens then. As Exits and JoJo start moving in, looks like, oh, it's going to be a press from them. Oh, yep. 563.
Yep, they sense the overmatch. They're going for it. They know those 113s are probably alone, so it looks like they're just going to swarm into him with 4 tanks. Now, Zoned is in the south. He's the one saving grace. He may be able to get some shots into Muriel, and if the 113s turn fast enough, they may find some shots. However, JoJo and Delth are swerving that way to make sure that they can cover their teammate.
Yep. And there we go. Type 5s are going to be able to move in slowly but surely to begin an engagement. It's going to be dangerous. JoJo and Muriel have to be careful not to allow themselves to be caught out, because now Halo is shifting over in his Batchat, meaning it's a 4-on-4 situation. Nice hit, though, for 510 and 108 from JoJo. But that's going to have the 113 start pressing forward and begin their engagement. Spirit Walker, though, moving in, and Muriel taking focus fire. Chase Potato is out.
Zone getting some good shots onto Muriel there, as does Spirit Walker. However, no one else is in position to cover. Zone no longer has shots. Now, Spirit does take him down, but at what cost? Because Type 5 should be loaded here in just a second to put Spirit out of his misery.
Should be. Looks like Exits is almost there. JoJo will be...
Delph looking for the shot onto Zone. He's not going to get it, though. No, he does! 1400! And Zone in the background on fire. He goes down to a shot from Delph as Exits picks up Spirit Walker. And this is all but over for F7.
And Mako's Knight moving in. They are going to take out Rude Awakening. And then at the same time, look up north. You've got cap pressure from Andy, but not cap pressure, because he's not on cap, technically.
Because the mice were up there and got some resets and made him back off. And now he doesn't know that the mice have just left. And at this point, it's just cleanup for top tier.
And it is. And there we go. HE almost from JoJo into the back of Mako's. That 50B would have been completely destroyed. And solid hold from top tier. Putting Rude in the mid-road and then solid coverage. Type 5s moved faster than I think F7 were expecting, truly. And there we go. Nice kill from JoJo. And it's all clean up now.
Yep, Mako should go down. He was never really in the fight, nor was Halo. Zone got off some damage, but he got stuck, and top tier did a good job making sure that Batchat didn't get out of there. I thought he was for a second, and then Delph snapped that shot off and got a nice penetrating shot on the back of that Batchat and took him down.
Now Halo's going to see what he can do. And he's going to take a lot of damage for it. While in the north, Andy and Lop are going to 1v1. Looks like Lop's going to come out ahead at the end of this. And in just a moment, they'll be done. And Halo tries to get on out. Andy, about to, there he goes.
And that is going to do it. As soon as Halo goes down, it looks like JoJo might be the next one finds him. Nope, Halo playing that corner game. Nope, he's being surrounded.
And just wait for it. He's just going to waste some time. This is where you get a chance to talk amongst your teammates about what you'll do next battle.
Because you only get 1 minute between battles, so you got to be ready. And here it comes. JoJo should pick up the kill. And that's going to do it. That's going to be 1-0 in favor of top tier. Pretty decisive stuff there. If I had a criticism for that F7 strat, you want the distraction to be towards the north. You never want it to be towards the south because it's so susceptible to being overmatched like they were there.
Yeah.
In the north, because of the lanes, you don't really have that same opportunity to really push all your tanks in there and get an overmatch without pushing through some long open lanes and a lot of crossfires.
Yeah, paying a high toll in that sense.
Yeah, and so those 2 tanks, once they knew that the mice were up north and they knew just by process of elimination that those 113s were most likely alone in the south, they really punished them. And you could tell they really didn't even care if there were Batchats down there because they're Type 5s. They have so much HP, the Batchats can't clip them out.
Yeah.
So the worst they would have done is maybe traded 1 or 2 of the Type 5s. And instead, it's just the single Batchat. All 3 Type 5s got out of there pretty much unscathed.
Yeah, they're able to shrug most of that off pretty easily. That's the nice part, because I saw 2 shells from a Batchat just hit the side of a Type 5 and just fizzle mostly. And
a lot of spaced armor, a lot of cracks. It can be a tricky tank to work down.
And it was a generally misleading strat in many ways from F7. It seemed like there was going to be a lot of north pressure, but it ended up being...
Well, that's what I said. You know, it wasn't the setup that I so much had a problem with. It was the timing. Make it so the north tanks were the tanks to focus, not the 113s who pushed in too early, in my opinion. Now, we will go on to the damage Leptev coming in here in the mouse, 3,400 damage, 1 kill, 73 fantasy points, not bad. Halo top for his team. He joined us on the face-off earlier, another 3,466. Then Jojo, Delph, Akako, and Rude Awakening all rounding it up first page. Second page, Muriel in that bat chat, 1,800 basically in damage, 1 kill, 51 fantasy points, not bad for first game. Mako, Spirit, Exits, Andy Pan, Zoned, and Chase Potato. Most of those tanks down on the bottom for F7, not really able to get into the fight.
Chase got destroyed.
Yeah.
Chase got torn apart.
Got obliterated.
Zone got obliterated too. It was just solid stuff.
Even with heat shells, Batchat versus Type 5 is a tricky thing, especially when it's coming right at you and that giant derp gun is just staring you in the face. Yeah. It's not going to be an easy time.
You're not accurate enough to really go consistently for the weak points on the Type 5's front. Yep. You're going to have tricks. So now countdown's going to start, almost done for battle number 2. We're going to flip sides now. And F7 is going to defend top tier attacks. 113, 250Bs, 2 I7s, mouse, and a bat chat for F7. 3 113s, 2 mice, Type 5, and a bat chat for top tier. So a lot of auto loaders, but not a lot of consistency.
This looks like a bullying lineup coming out of top tier. And I'm sensing some very raw aggression, not a lot of slow play. Finding somewhere where they can push, get the mice and HP in there, and using that DPM off those 113s to really pick apart the tanks from F7.
Yeah, kind of a slow start, but then all at once just have a big fight and just destroy everything.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the I7s, they don't have that great DPM. They're good hold down tanks. They're decent brawlers, but the weakness is their DPM is not that great. So that may be a factor here.
We shall see. Looks like opening moves, mostly towards the village on the F7 side, and then looks like all North Cap. That chat's going to lead the way. That's Muriel.
Are those 113s just going to blindly push across?
Yep. Maybe.
No, they stopped.
They stopped. Good. It's always dangerous when that happens.
I mean, it would be one of those things. With this lineup, you wouldn't expect a North just push across into A6 early on, so you may not be looking for it. And it doesn't look like F7 really are. They have the 250Bs and only tanks watching the cross, which that is, you know, to be fair, 3,200 damage they can pump out. But at that range, trying to get consistent shots on the sides of 113s, I think that's going to be kind of tricky. And these I7s are just going to push down the zero line, make sure it's clear. Yep. However, they haven't spotted anyone. The Batchat hasn't spotted anyone in the middle ridge. And why at this point, with that Batchat not having spotted anyone, they're not using him to push down there to clear it and letting the heavy slow tanks of the I7s push down there is beyond me.
And there's the move. All right. We shall see now what this will turn into. And I'll tell you when that first spot comes up. Looks like Chase Potato's going to see the cross from exits. He's going to fire and miss. No one else is spotted yet from the side of top tier.
And they're going to use the mice and the Type 5 to shield Rude Awakening on cap.
And this will be a fast cap.
And look at that, those I7s. They
mouse spotted from lob.
With 3 tanks on cap, those I7s are not going to be able to get in position to really help. They're going to probably try to go for the flank would be my guess, but they may take too long to get there.
There we go. More shots coming in. Chase getting 2 solid connections actually into lob. Nicely done. And he's going to start trying to spread damage as best he can.
And all these guns are going to sit there echelon looking towards Chase Potato, who's going to start taking a lot of damage in that 113.
That he is.
And that's the benefit to having all these guns here. They can all shoot the same tank. They're all echeloned up. So when Chase Potato does peak, they're going to have to take a lot of shots. Now we're going to have one Batchat coming behind the 50Bs and the I7s trying to push onto cap. However, only 20 seconds left, and they're still firing shots at Leptev. They have not even killed him. And letting that gun stay alive. He does not have any cap points at this point, and he won't for the rest of the game. And APAT's just going to push around, and this is exactly what top tier want, because they're going to be able to focus him out. But now the rest of the tanks, the I7s, are finally starting to show up as they take down Leptev. They're going to push around. 50Bs are going to push in and start clipping tanks out, but the 113 and Batchat in the background are in position to cover, and Andy Pans does go down. And the IS-7s, they do get across.
Nicely done. You want to get into cover off the cap, start splitting turrets, making it harder and harder to shift focus. And actually, look, JoJo's still racking up points. And there we go. Nice focus killing Delph. There's only 3 tanks left for top tier. And look at how the damage spread is for F7. They should be able to take this defense from now. Problems here, big time, where Batchat was way in the backfield, where the overmatch ended up peeling 2 tanks away from the main fight. And then also the focus fire from top tier was not there next to what happened for F7. But that's what you pay to do this North Cap. Like those are the disadvantages to trying this. All the top tier was hoping to do was to catch F7 off guard and really make them kind of regret their choices on defense.
It was certainly risky with those IS-7s, but the reaction time from F7 was good. They recognized what was going on, and they did have some intel, and they were able to get those IS-7s up there quickly in that counter push with the IS-7s and 50Bs. They didn't hesitate. They didn't wait. They didn't really let them get spotted. Once they got there, they just went. And they had Andy Pans do what Mouses do, which is take a brunt of the damage. They wasted all their shots with the Type 5s.
Yep.
And at that point, they knew that they had that window because Type 5s and Mice, they don't have great DPM. They have long reloads. They knew once they all fired at Andy that they were all going to be out, and that's when they could make that decisive push, and they capitalized on it and did well.
Yeah. And at the end of it, Andy ends up taking, what is it? He blocks a good 490, deals 1,333. This is the min damage on his team, but everyone else did fine for that one.
And the other thing I will say is, I'm talking about how it's kind of unorthodox. They didn't use the bat chats to go scout that zero line.
Yeah.
You got to remember, it is Andy Pans doing a majority, or not Andy Pans, it is going to be Chase Potato doing the majority of the calling now. And if you remember from his time on Deja Vu, he was known for doing very unorthodox stuff. The first live finals that they showed up to, under Deja Vu, they were the ones that brought the Su-114-2 artillery on Himmelsdorf, for example. So they definitely do think outside the box. And looking at the damage here, it's going to be 5 players for F7 rounding it up, all 2,500 plus. Pretty solid fantasy points, 74, 72, 68, 67, and 60. Not bad there. Top tier, excuse me, was the 113, totally.
I was like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, no, totally just spaced out there for a second. It's going to be Jojo Jackie in that 113, 1,800, 40 fantasy points, and then Delth right below him in the second page, which is what I was trying to think about in my head. It's going to be Marilyn and Hako, not up there on the front page. They're really popular fantasy picks, not having strong nights tonight.
No, they're not. Looks like right now timeout's being called as well for top tier. Looks like they might be having... They're claiming some connection issues might need to be resolved with them. So we'll have to see what happens with that. As, well, we'll wait for that timer to finish. It's another 30, 45 seconds until they're done with their timeout, but they're going to call it real early. I guess that means that top tier was not expecting that fight to go the way it did.
Yep. Now, Ruinberg, one thing I will note is that Ruinberg's starting to shift back towards the defender-sided bias on the map.
Yep.
Both defenses picking it up. Like if it wasn't obvious, wasn't a big fan of F7's choice and strat there. However, they made it work. They timed well. The theory was solid, and they executed it well. So, props off to them.
And anytime you're going to defend a fast cap on your north cap on Ruinberg, it's going to be a bit of a scramble too.
Yeah, and the one thing I'll notice, they didn't seem like they were really scrambling. They were moving quickly, and they knew that they had to make a decisive play, and that's something we haven't seen out of them. They've kind of been shaky. They hesitate a lot, including like the last Matchday on Prokhorovka, for example.
Yeah, you're pointing out the fact that they made the right choice this time to stop, group up, and then to move around the corner at once in order to
they were very composed at the same time. They didn't, there wasn't tanks off by themselves, or it seemed like they didn't know what they were doing or not focusing fire with everyone else. They said, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to focus, we're going to group up, push around, make sure the timing was good, let Andy go in first. And even the timing there, when the tanks were still showing up, Andy went in, and then as soon as they fired, that's when the rest of the tanks were there. So the timing was clearly understood early on, and they knew what they were trying to do.
Yeah, James, also I'm going to tell you that Rude's being benched right now in favor of Fixer, Reloaded. And looks like he might be having connection issues that are serious enough to make that a thing.
And that may be a small blessing in disguise for F7.
That's room for them.
Yeah, I mean, Root, you've seen the difference between this team with and without Root this season, and we'll have to see if the rest of top tier can pick it up. Now, remember, when they weren't playing with Root, top tier still won 5-4, so it was a closer game. But with Root, they are undoubtedly stronger.
Absolutely. We'll have to see where it goes. 30 seconds left on the countdown. Tanks are starting to ready up. And let's see. I'm really hoping that we'll see some Super Conk today, because this map especially, because you've got
we will.
APCR and Hesh, and on top of that, the nice spaced armor that you're working with on the turret and the front of the hull. We were testing a little bit earlier just to kind of, brush up, you and me, before the broadcast, James, and we were going through all the weak spots and where you can kind of take advantage, but at the end of the day, James, yes! It's going to come out. Here are the lineups. F7 with two of them, Makos and Zone, playing Super Conquerors. 2 5As and 2 Batchats and an AMX 13105. Nice to see that coming back. Top tier's got an IS-7 single Super Conch 5A, 2 Batchats, a Patton, and an Object 140.
Yeah, basically the Super Conqueror, the way I'm looking at it right now is it is just a 215B with a center-mounted turret. It's very similar, even though it has some added spaced armor. The turret on the 215B was always relatively strong. So I think that the main change is just going to be the fact that the turret's in the middle. It's a little bit slower, but you still have to just assume that hole is going to be penetrated. It doesn't really have anything thick on it.
Yeah.
It's not really going to bounce that many shells, so it's a tank that's going to be best used at range and hold down.
Yeah, it's going to defeat your heat shells pretty well, so that's where it'll be fine. But there are plenty of tanks that are regularly brought here that are, well, they're not going to have to worry about that as much. Plenty of APCR running around. Bats have the option still, and heat's not really this big an issue for them. If you think about it, really it's just going to counter out a lot of Kronwagen. It's going to counter out not a whole lot, really. Mouse is fine.
And the other thing to note is with rations, rammer, vents, and the crew that Exits has, he has his reload down all the way to 6.88 seconds.
Yep, same thing for Makos. It looks like they're running perfect kits.
Yep, so and then without rations, it comes into about 7.1, I believe, on the reload, so should be nice, and does carry a few more shells than the old 215B did.
Yep. What I like about it is it doesn't have to play as conservatively as many other hull down tanks have had to in the past. The Commander's Hatch is not easy to hit, and you also don't have the same options to pen cheeks like you do on a lot of other hull down tanks.
Yeah, now the one thing that I will note is with high enough pen shells, heat shells included, if you can hit it between the gun mantlet and the spaced armor on the side, you can pen the turret when it's looking straight at you. Now at range, like I said, difficult at range, but close range, brawling ranges, that is a very makeable shot.
Yeah, you can also shot trap right into the gun mantlet, and there's a tiny line right above the gun mantlet that you have to be pretty much on even ground or have the high ground, but you can pen that as well a little bit. And of course, the front's not that well armored altogether. Like, if you're face hugging against a Super Conch, you're not going to have too many issues.
Yep, and now we are going to see the IS-7 for top tier push under the guns from F7. He's going to be under there, 5A, Batchats, and the 140 in the south covering him. And it's just going to be the Patton and the Super Conqueror in the north trying to cover him from that angle.
And it looks like he's going to start trying to focus something out.
They're looking to chase out of that bush. There's a light tank down there somewhere. Pretty much the only reason you bring a 105 is to be a passive scout, so they know it's somewhere in that field. And then they're also going to be doing spotting checks, poke forward, try to spot, see if they can figure out where they are.
Oh, and at the same time, looks like Muriel gets himself spotted for a minute. No dice on the contacts, though. And Andy Pans and the 5As actually started taking a little bit of damage here, getting sniped by the 140 downtown. That's Loptev. He's trying to throw some connections into him, but he's on about even ground, and shooting a 140 turret straight on, not going to do a whole lot of work.
All right, now let's go ahead and listen to top tiers. They try to figure out where Chase Potato's sitting right now.
That one went through.
No, he's not there.
That one went through.
Because I went up from there all the way up to here and did not get spotted at all until 5A rolled up the hill and proxied me.
Wait, so I would be proxying him when I move up if he was on one of the road bushes, right?
No, he'd be like 70 meters away.
He could. I'm pretty sure he's in the Wally bush.
Oh.
6 minutes. I'm gonna move up to the buildings.
He could be in one of the bushes.
Could you try
from back there?
Did you try capping, or we already did that?
You can't get into the building. Did you get lit, Merle? There's a Batchat in the back.
Shoot the bat! Shoot the bat!
2 shots.
He's on the low ground.
They have a bench on the one.
Did you get lit to that spot, Merle?
Is there?
No.
Hako, is there any way you
He
can
has to
safely
be on the
light
road.
this?
He has to be really far
Or
back
safely
on the
light
road.
up here?
He's really far back on the road.
Because I might be able to have
fire
shots.
down there.
Yeah, let me see.
Blind fire down the road. He has to be on the road.
Exits, you think you can watch this? I'm gonna go help blind fire down there.
Yes.
Because the thing is, you can't have this blind because they go YOLO you.
I missed.
You want me to go to the one line or should?
No. They have a guy in the bench.
That missed still. Okay.
Hit
I
him.
missed. I got lit doing that.
Shit. The Super Conk is still back there at G1, the second one.
Yeah, and the hell.
Tell me if this goes through.
One line.
I saw it go through. It didn't hit.
I got it going there. He has to be somewhere in those bushes.
Which ones?
The ones I was just shooting at. I'll shoot him again.
You sure?
Either this one or in this one over here.
Which bits one?
Oh, there is a few
here.
bushes that I cannot get spotted from by him. They're behind the houses.
Yeah, they have to be in the ones with the houses.
Like there.
Yeah, right here, the back one. I'll shoot the bush right now.
Okay, I'm looking.
This one. That
Through.
one? Okay. Now there's one more farther back.
We've only got 4
We need
minutes.
the yellow
I might just proxy it. Everyone pre-aim the bushes.
I'm reloading in 25.
Yeah, I'll go in 20.
Waiting.
Yeah, we just need to go now.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get shot from here as well, so I'm gonna go in like 10 seconds.
loading in 15.
Yeah, pre-aim here.
Back. Got 140 up.
I want you to stay back, because they know they can't play south for like.
Bat.
Ooh, bad chat.
That's a YOLO. He's not gonna light you though.
Halo, you got a farm?
Just
Nice
they're
farm.
most their team south right now. So
I'm gonna clip right away. Halo's clipping right away.
1500. Up poking.
That Super Conqueror's moving up.
yeah,
No,
he's just looking.
No, he's just playing. He's just playing.
Okay.
not gonna push. They can't push.
We got one into all their meds. This is good so
40,
far.
bat on cap.
Bat.
Shoot, bitches!
140 on Super Conk.
Nice bleed on the Super
I
Conk.
missed.
Mario knows he's perma-spotted, I think.
Exis does not know he's permalit.
I honestly think it's a
64?
Wheezy playing C1, or he's in village or city right now.
Bat on cap.
Bat?
I'm moving.
please.
I'm trying to like not get shot with 140 for every shot I take on Delph. You know what I mean?
Nice shot.
1300.
He doesn't know
Exit
he's lit. He doesn't know he's lit.
Exis has no idea he's unlit. Or he's permalit, I mean.
I've been shooting him, so.
Delta's 900.
500.
4
Delta
and 89.
500.
Exis is moving in. He's leaving. He's leaving north.
It's got lit.
Have we seen the Wheezy at all?
No.
No. I have no idea where
Oh,
that
he's in
guy
the north
is.
then, probably.
It's fine. We're fine. We're fine right now. Like this
I'm just
is
saying,
fine.
I can't make some memes.
If we see it, yeah, I was gonna say if we see.
Nice shot, Halo. Nice
I'm gonna
shot.
clip.
Merle 600.
I also won't see the Wheezy leaving. Like, that's also an issue. If it
I'm
happens.
bleeding a little bit to the 140.
Got 2
Going over
minutes.
to log.
One with a huck whiz.
They have a Super Conk in the back. If you want a shots on him.
I'm perma lit, so he's somewhere in here. One second.
Yeah, he's in the water
Check
bush.
the freaking house crap.
I don't think he's next to the house. It's too close.
He's definitely in one of the field
He has to
bushes.
be somewhere. So try it out.
Lob got lit.
Through. I'm getting lit every time I fire.
We just have
We've
to
got 2
YOLO.
minutes. We have to go.
No, yeah, just go. I'm getting
Just have
blind
to
fire
YOLO
now.
over.
There's a bat in those buildings. Wow. Or Jojo.
Go.
I'm going to the house.
There
He's
he
right
is.
here.
Oh, there.
Shoot him.
And Chase Potato finally goes down at the 1 minute and 40-second mark. That was a solid 8 minutes and 20 seconds successfully wasted by F7. And now with a minute 30, top tier have no choice but to either panic cap and throw 3 on or try to go for the brawl. Looks like they are going to go for the panic cap, but that I don't see F7 whiffing these lines. This is a pretty much textbook case to close out right now.
Yep, should be able to win here pretty handily. Just a matter of, you know, not messing that up.
If top tier are going to throw this Hail Mary out, all their guns need to be on the south end, and they need to be ready to shoot anything that tries to go to get the lights on cap, which is going to be Halo. They know he's down there, and they need to stop him from getting the lights on cap. That is the only way that F7 lose this match.
Indeed. Spirit's going to run him back. Jojo Jackie's going to have to rejoin the group, and Halo moves in around to the south. Now, do you think it's going to be shots from the Super Conquerors from mid to reset from while Halo
Halo's
goes
getting
on the run?
shot a lot, and Knight's going in as well. 22 seconds.
Halo's down.
Now it's all down to Knight.
It's all down to Knight. Willow's Batchats and 140s be able to pick up a kill on a 5A. Because right
He
now,
gets tracked. He gets no tracked again. He shrugs it off, uses his repair kit, moves in.
They have vision. Muriel.
He doesn't get the reset.
But
5 seconds. Now the reset comes in. That does it. They cannot cap anymore. Now this tank just needs to escape.
5k damage to deal in 18 seconds.
This is over. They can no longer cap without a third on. And Knight is just going to be focused out, and there is no way for them to kill Makos and Spirit Walker. Spirit Walker is just going to head straight up the one line to guarantee the victory.
There we go. 3 more kills to happen. The only thing that could happen is that impossible scenario where kills just happen every second. There it is. That's F7. Now, this is noted as the battle in which Rude Awakening sat out. Because in Battle 1, he was in. Battle 2 didn't go so well. Chat after the game, they were saying Rude was having connection issues. They bench him after calling a timeout. And then this battle, we listened to the comms for a little while. And I don't know if I want to say if Rude had an impact or not, but the question is, did he? Was his absence the reason for less aggressive, less decisive?
I have said this before, and I'll get into it again. The 2-cap on Murovanka. If you are going to do it, you need to have a solid plan that you have rehearsed time and time again, and you know definitively that you can eliminate all the bushes and have a system and do it in a timely manner. That did not happen for top tier this game. They guessed and guessed and guessed, and you heard how many different bushes they said. I think it's this one. We watched the Tracers come in. Not once were they anywhere in the same proximity that Chase Potato was. It is not an easy thing to do. Do not get me wrong. However, if you are going to try for that 2-cap, and that is going to be your main play, you better have a system and you better execute it well.
That it should. And now looking at those post-game stats, Loptev in top tier getting massive damage there. 2,700 while just kind of farming the Super Conquerors. Pretty much. That's all he did all battle. And then the Super Conquerors came in and dealt the most damage. Why? Because great fire rate, great accuracy. You can switch from Hesh to APCR and kind of do what you want.
Yeah, especially shooting at light tanks and bat chats. Those Hesh shells will be really nice. And now on the second page, though, we go, and it is going to be a different story. You're going to see Jojo Jackie not really able to get in here along with Delth, and then Muriel also doing their 300. It sounds like when Rude's out, Muriel's having to do a majority of the calling, and means he doesn't focus as much on his play. Same with Chase Potato. Now, Chase Potato's a different thing. He was a passive scout the whole game.
Yeah.
So, you know, not doing any damage is understandable.
Yeah, of course that happens at the end of it. So, altogether, I'm a little worried for top tier right now, and I think anyone out there who's a fan of top tier should be a little bit worried as well. Rude Awakening, I didn't see him in even the training room anymore, in the lobby. Yep. So you're going to notice he's absent.
Whatever connection issues it is he's having, hopefully they get resolved quickly.
Yeah, that's him not leading this team right now, and that means F7 has a chance to bring this one back, because they're going to bring a Mouse, 2 5As, 3 Batchets, and an AMX 13105, as top tier brings an IS-7, a single Super Conqueror, 2 5As, 2 Batchets, and an M48A5 Patton.
Yep, so opting to no longer bring that 140. Other than that, very similar lineup.
And F7 deciding no Super Conquerors on attack.
Yeah, I think defense, when it can kind of sit back, it's decent. I didn't mind how they top tier and played it with exits in the north, kind of playing that ridge, just like we've seen Vetro doing the 215B. But very similar.
AMX 105 on offense, strange choice next to what we normally see.
Not so much. Had a good passive tank. It can be the tank that they use for cap pressure, has a very narrow silhouette, so it can be rather hard to hit at range as well. So if they're trying to blind fire, it is a small target to hit if you turn it and leave it not sideways, but looking straight at your opponent or have your back to him. It is a very, very tiny target to hit.
Yep. Looks like our defenders are going to go for a standard spread, just spreading out, putting tanks in their normal positions and seeing what's what. Super Conqueror is going to be the replacement for that old Kronbogen position to defend cap. I think I like it, honestly. A consistent fire, hull-down tank.
Yep, and it has the Hesh shells too, which it can reload between very quickly, where the Kronbogen has the clip that has to manage and terrible DPM, so it doesn't really have the choice of loading some sort of high explosive shell.
Yeah, and the nice thing with those Hesh shells is you can actually get connections into 2 people, or even 3 if they cluster correctly, which is always wonderful, because that's a ton of cap reset.
Yeah. Well, and just the extra penetration too, more of a chance of doing a higher amount of damage with them. Yeah. Compared to regular HE shells.
If I remember, 105, 120, I can't remember the penetration.
Yeah, I think it's around 120. I don't know the number exact off the top of my head, but it's higher. It's a significant bit higher than most HE shells.
Yep, that's the way Hesh generally works in the game. There we go. Shots onto Knight in the open. He is caught out. And
that's half his HP already gone. He's going to get behind this little barn.
Why?
John got spotted on the cross. It's a mouse. You don't have the luxury to go all the way around.
Oh, no.
Delph puts another shot into him.
Nicely done. Good angles from top tier. Good pickups as well. Understanding how to make those angles happen. And with that, you've got a mostly damaged mouse. Decent lead here for F7, but ultimately nothing decided yet. But it does tell us that F7's intending to put pressure on the 2-cap. I mean, you could have told me earlier with the 105, if you're going to bring a light tank like an AMX 15105 or 13105, you're probably going to
the main downside
main
downside, he's going to get out of there. Heat shell bounces off his tracks actually, but he's not going to take any damage as he runs away. Now, once again, what I was going to say though is by bringing a tank like a 13105, it kind of telegraphs what you're going to do, and kind of tilts your hand a little bit towards your opponent.
That it does. They can take advantage, kind of pressure up for it. They know that not much should be coming from the north. Problems, of course, with that are if they go too light in that, or they don't cover their north side well enough, a Batchat can sneak in, of course. We've seen it before in the past, a nice distraction up north, kind of late game to make you think they're switching things up, but when they're actually not. And that's nicely done by Spirit Walker. His current position on cap, if he's not lit, it proves, by process of elimination, that the passive scout for top tier is in only a few key specific positions or specific zones, where Muriel is along the road, where you can't spot through enough bushes to even see Spirit Walker, or his vision is obscured by the building that is out near cap. And with that, you know where he isn't, which is, for example, Wally Bush, and a few of those other tricky spots.
Yeah, he's in the one blind spot that Muriel has, so that's why all the fire is coming in real close to him. They just haven't been able to hit it. There's 4 guns lined up here trying to hit Spirit Walker.
Just a firing line. Waiting to see what they can get. What's strange is that shells often land in that exact spot. But I've seen plenty of tankers kind of take the exact spot Spirit's in. And you're just like, come on guys, just a little bit to the side.
They're really trying right now. They're trying to every bush they can, and so far no one has quite gotten close enough.
No one's looking at the right angle. But they are really...
And they're running out of time soon. They're going to have to panic rush Muriel. Rip everyone that picked him for the fantasy team.
Actually, Muriel might be able to do this pretty well. He just has to turn sideways and then book it actually directly towards Handypans, and then hit the building. And then he should be able to do okay. That's... still a bit tricky, but he should be able to get out of this. When you're moving, Muriel. There we go. He's going to decide to go left instead.
Got all the guns, and now he's going to leave. Now they know they're there, spotted. But all the guns are ready for Muriel. He is going to get absolutely roasted. He's down to 764 HP. Other shots looking, and the heavy's starting to close, and the rest of the guns from top tier don't really have any covering angles.
Oh, Muriel gets taken down. I don't think he should have stayed aggressive like that. I think he could have gotten safe and even gotten out of it.
Once you leave those bushes, anywhere in that south town is really tricky to get out of. Especially,
he just kept going though. He just kept going, and I wish for him, but it's a suck.
Look at the angles though that F7 are playing though. That was a deliberate trap to try to get that tank out of there, because when he pushed forward, he had nowhere to go. All the guns were sitting there on that right side of cap. They didn't have that many down in the south, only the 5A. The rest were in the north, ready for him.
He went farther than he could have to get safe. He could have been safe. But he did what he had to. That reset cap, it extended the battle a little bit. And with a tank down, top tier is actually still sitting on more hit points. So they got that going for him. But now Spirit Walker is nice and safe again. And you're seeing a Batchat Delph going all the way around the north, which scares me a bit. What's top tier gonna do to try and salvage this? It's difficult to say. As Oghako, Joe Jackie are gonna move around to the north. M48 Patton.
Now, a second tank is going to get on cap, but he's going to get on cap on the opposite side, knowing there's no longer a passive tank down there. And the rest of F7 are set up in a good position to receive this push from top tier.
And the spotting on mid-hill is great from F7.
And no one's in position to get the lights. The mediums aren't close enough. It's going to be one of the heavies. It's going to have to push straight at him.
And it's going to be right down to the wire, as JoJo and Oghako's finally start to close the distance. They are getting lit, finally spotting coming in. But because of the chaos of the situation, oh, there we go. Cap is done. It looks like F7's going to abandon that entirely in favor of taking the engagement somewhere else. So they're going to group up and try to overmatch those patents IS-7s where the angles work.
Yeah, but they've baited all these tanks from top tier down into the village, and they're set up in a good position to receive it. The only thing going for top tier right now is they've already taken out a bunch of Knight's HP early on the fight.
Yep, and I'd be worried right now a little bit if you're top tier because of where Delth and Lop are. They're medium tanks, not necessarily frontline center tanks. And while it was necessary to move them in order to make things happen, I'd be worried about keeping those tanks alive. If the guys from F7 see where they have openings, they could take down those tanks rather quickly and kind of turn the battle in their favor. But if the coverage from top tier comes in pretty strong, James, they may be able to hold this one, especially because of the small hit point lead they have.
Yep, and RNG has not been friendly to Andy Pans, who finally gets a connection on to Leptev in that patent.
Yeah, that's who I was saying. I was worried about that. The medium getting caught out earlier in the fight and getting taken down. Now there are 2 tanks dead. Slightly more hit points for top tier, but they are 2 guns down, as opposed to F7, which has a nice spread of hit points across the way.
Yep, and Zone's going to take down Akako. 4 guns left alive for top tier, and the snowball effect of having the extra guns alive should come into play here. Now, HP's still in favor for the moment for F7, but because of the extra guns, if they really group everyone up and start pushing, they should be able to just take down tanks. And Del's going to be the next one who's going to get focused out by the Bat Chats. He's down to 606. Chase Potato's going to push in this 5A, and they are both going to bounce heat shells off each other, and it's actually going to be the teammates from behind that are going to get the shots in.
Yep, and there we go. Jojo coming in from the flank. Looking to see what he can find. There we go. Nice connections. Delth is going to go down, but one more shell into Chase should be able to finish him off. And these kill shots come in. Oh, look at this Bat Chat though on the minimap. That's Makos moving around on the flank. Fully loaded Bat Chat, full health as well.
Makos finally coming off, or not Makos, Andy Pan's coming off the red line. Gonna eat the shells for his team, and now Halo is gonna have the opportunity to push in and clip out Jojo Jackie.
Exits is being pressured now by Makos. Makos putting every shell he can in a perfect spot, except for one which went to tracks, but he's got support. He's got this. Notice how he's firing at the lower front plate, not letting the spaced armor up top. Maybe you throw a tricky shell at him. And with that 57 left, and Fixer is alone. It's amazing how this thing has turned around. Top tier, a team that you're used to being dominant, aggressive, and well put together. After losing Rude Awakening after battle number 1, kind of throwing him on the bench with connection issues, it's now getting tricky. Now,
something we should remember. This is something we didn't talk about too much. Remember, F7 have the tiebreaker over Aquatic F60, so a win here for F7 seals their fate. They get to go to the playoffs no matter what with a win here, if they can close it out and win the next 2 rounds.
And there it is. Bat Chats get the kills, and that is 3-1.
Yeah, no, that was pretty decisive stuff. Now, once again, this is the difference between top tier and F7 here. They set up, they had a system in place. They said, all right, we're going to start the cap pressure, and then we're going to let them come to us and try to pick off the tanks that come get the resets, and then we will drive away and keep our HP and then get back on once we're unlit.
Yeah.
And they executed that system a good 2 or 3 times until they made top tier go where they wanted them to go. At no point did top tier really get to dictate the tempo or decide what they did this game. It was really F7,
And that's a natural symptom of losing leadership presence on the team. Rude is that presence on the team. And now that he's off the battlefield, I'm thinking that's what we're seeing. We're seeing slower, more reactive play where, it's less decisive. It's less of what we want or expect from top tier. Although it does look like Rude's able to rejoin the training room. We'll see if he's actually going to be moved up.
Yep, now looking at the damage here, Jojo Jackie doing what he can for top tier. 4K damage, 1 kill, 94 fantasy points. Makos, Andy Pans, and Halo all doing decent damage for F7. Fixer and Exits also doing what they could for top tier. Respectable 2,300, but really just not enough at the end of the day. And then poor Knight, who got focused out so early on, still able to do almost 2K in that mouse.
Not bad.
And then what's going to make every fantasy player in the league cry right now is Akako and Muriel down there on that second page. Even Muriel, for a lot of people down there on that second page, not really able to get the points in.
And it looks like we won't be seeing Rude Awakening coming back this battle, actually. I'm following the in-game chat, and it looks like he rejoins the room, Admin has just asked for the confirmation to start the countdown, and it looks like both teams have confirmed, meaning no more roster swaps around with that. As we move on to the next map, it's going to be Mines.
Yep, however, it is going to be F7 having to attack on Mines. So you would think that this defense, the way it is, that top tier should be able to hold on without Rude. Having these type of players that they have, they should be able to, repel any sort of push that F7 throw at them.
We'll see what they can.
Now, looking at it, lineups coming in here, and it doesn't look at all like top tier are going to be sitting back and playing this defensively, even though they are the team on the defense. We may see one heck of a brawl here early on. Look at that lineup, Randall.
Wow. Okay. Top tier just says, guys,
bring your favorite heavy tank and let's go brawl.
Okay. You want to hear a theory?
What's that?
Rude Awakening just got reconnected and joined that lobby and said, guys, stop going with our old strats. I'm not there to give you all sorts of calls and stuff. So just get everything and go drive at them.
And overwhelm them. And looking at it, F7, 113, a Type 5, 2 5As, and 3 Batchats. If F7 play into this and are not careful, this could go disastrously very early on.
Here's my guess, mid-hill. Just everything right up the middle.
Oh, if you're top tier with this lineup, you have to. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, you're just going with a... Yes, please say it's everything mid. Everything mid.
Yeah, no.
Jojo, watch out. Okay, he didn't flip. We're good.
And looking at F7, they're just going to take the one line. They're going to try to push it down in south.
No, is this going to be a mid push with a one line loop? I love this. Okay, they're going to almost miss each other like train. No, maybe? Yes, Trains in the Night. And Batchat spotted. Okay. They're actually going to be able to fire
and they might get some shots. Some good connections coming in here. A couple hits, but a relatively low toll paid.
But Jojo took a lot of damage for that one. He actually took 2 good shells. And with that, everything is up on a high elevated position. And this looks like the way Mines used to play like 2-3 years ago, where you'd see this east versus west, you remember? And everything from the defense side would take the high ground and all the area in the middle, and then the entire west side of the map was the attacking team.
And look, there's a method to the madness here. If you look at it, they've set up to where they have control of this whole area. The 5A sitting by that E4 rock, he'll spot north, make sure no one sneaks up there. I7 playing towards the hill, and the other one's actually going to be able to get down into the south. And if he can spot, say, the Batchats, those 113s and 5As should be able to punish those Batchats if they peek up in the south, as Chase Potato takes a shot over on the one line.
Yeah, he does. Now he tries to put one out. Jojo's been taking a lot of damage as well, but managing to angle up pretty well to keep himself safe. Zone's taken a lot of damage, and those Batchats are dangerous right now for top tier. Because the thing is, with top tier's chosen opening attack, the fact that they didn't run into anything from F7, actually, F7 played that wonderfully by not going mid at all. And Muriel has had to move all the way around to try and, find some shells towards Andy Pants. Now, is Andy even spotted? Yes, he is proxied. So things should be okay for at least firing on his position. But can Muriel actually get a connection?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like top tier panicked right now by the cap timer. They're just letting it run. They're trying to burn down the clock. Remember, they're the defending side. Clock is on their time. And looking at it, it looks like we're going to see the other 5A actually join the heavy tanks. We may see some sort of play come out of top tier here pretty soon.
May just, but it's going to be incredibly dangerous. There's a lot of risk in what they're about to try and go for. If Batchats are throwing shells out here or there, though, that'll be perfect for top tier. They want to have a few Batchats that are lower on shells for this engagement. Nicely put. The Muriel gets a nice one into Makos, the side of his turret. And everything out on the west side is just bleeding hit points. So right now, top tier is actually holding fairly well. And the question is going to be, James, is F7 going to be able to do anything as well that's going to change the course of this for them? Because right now it's going okay, but not phenomenally well for F7 either. They need to find some move, some attack, some action that's going to give them a way to win. Because right now, resets are just going to keep coming in. As Muriel landing yet another one. Looking at hit points in the favor of top tier, our defender. You don't want to allow the defender to have that kind of advantage consistently. You want to find a way of solving that problem. So what is that for F7, James? What is it? Where's the opening?
The north, which is where all the tanks are grouping up right now. They're going to try a dual-pronged push with the heavy tanks pushing in. and the Batchats in the south. Now the problem is that if top tier don't spot this soon enough, they're going to get caught in a crossfire because those heavy tanks, the 113s on the south, they'll have free shots on those heavy tanks as they leave, and they can chase in, and or they're going to sit where they are, and the heavy tanks are going to come down on top of them.
And we'll see what happens. It looks like Agahako's looking towards north as well. As long with look, Fixer, Jojo, and Zitz. I think they know something's coming. I think they smell that there's something on its way.
Muriel takes a shot at damage.
You don't want that. He's caught a few shells so far. IS-7 Muriel.
Yeah, now the trades start coming out. They find Chase Potato, and I expect to see most of these heavy tanks turn towards the north and go, but they cannot sit here towards the hill. They have to group up on this left side, otherwise the Batchats will have free and easy shots. And now Spearwalker's going to take a shot, but Jojo's getting beaten up.
Jojo's going to need to back off to stay alive. No, he won't be able to. Knight sneaks a shell in there. Nicely done. And so that's one tank down. Zoned takes some damage on the side. And it looks like Batchats from F7 are going to group up and go south while the rest of everything pushes in.
But they found this overmatch, and this could work out to their favor. Now they are going to go for Spiritwalker. They know that Type 5 has a terrible DPM.
And it's going to drop. It means you can leave Knight generally alone and focus on Spirit. Now Spirit's alone. Halo is down. That's a Batchat. Out. And there goes the 5A. Everything from top tier is going to go against Knight. I think that might be a little risky. There we go. Hako takes 500. It's worth it.
Andy Pans is pushing on Delph, but Muriel is trying to help him out in the south. That brawl's going down. Type 5 of Knight's going to drop down into the low ground. Andy Pans gets another shot in Delph, but Muriel picks up Andy Pans, and top tier are sitting very comfortably right now.
Looks like Mako's trying to... He's just waiting for reload at this point.
And now Muriel's pushing in to get the lights, and the guns are ready to shoot these Batchats. Makos is not going to get out of there alive.
No, he isn't. Although, 2 Batchats can mess up an IS-7 pretty well. Let's see. Will he get like an ammo rack or something? Nope.
Just needs to put him out, and now Zoned cannot leave that rock because all these guns are just sitting here waiting for him.
Yep. He's pinned all alone. Nobody there beside him. And in a moment, that'll be top tier finally bringing things back. All they had to do was just get a bunch of heavy tanks and drive all in the same direction.
I talk about not liking passive defenses.
One tank left, guys, and just gets
down.
destroyed.
Flip Tip takes down Knight.
Yep.
So, anyways, what I was going to say is I really didn't have a thing against passive defenses. I've gone on and on and on about it for multiple seasons now. The point where people are probably tired of me talking about it. However, I just want to say this is top tier did something that I really like in the terms of if their lineup, it gave them the flexibility to move around, to make adjustments, and to get aggressive while on defense. And they were able to find that overmatch from F7. They were setting up for that attack, and they were able to take the fight to them and not let them keep them in that little south area where they had that crossfire. They were able to get 4 of their tanks up there, take the overmatch in the north, and really exploit it. And, you know, as a defender, there's nothing saying that you need to stay passive. You need to find one fixed position and just fight and die from that one spot. And top tier, they moved around. They took the fight to F7, and I love it.
Okay. Yeah. To me, what I was seeing was much more basic from as far as like their intentions. But I think you broke down like a lot of those implications that come in from player skill.
Yep.
You know, just like all those things that no one said, okay, we're going to set up a crossfire here. It was more like, all right, guys, we're going to go to the mid. You're going to set up in positions that don't suck, and you're going to shoot the bad men.
Yep.
And that was probably the mentality.
Yeah, but what it did, because they were all together, they could see on the different parts of the map, hey, there's 3 tanks up here. Hey, well, we're all in one big ball, so let's send 4 of our tanks up there. You know, 4v5. The rest cover each other, and Muriel and Delph did a great job covering each other down in the south. And they really just made it work, and that had that flexibility. Let's say F7 had done a different strat. Say they had done more tanks towards the south. The guns are all right there to flex around and be ready for it. Say more tanks gone to the hill. They can move around and be flexible and not sit in that one fixed position.
Yep, and that's the important part, because you sit still too long and your opponent figures you out. All you do is you just get whittled down eventually. Now, countdown is starting for the next battle, and it's going to be this time top tier to attack, F7 to defend. And it'll be time for top tier to see if they can turn things around. Looking at the scores though from our last battle,
Muriel coming in here, 3,600, 3 kills, 100 fantasy points. Knight, Andy Pans, Delph, left heaven exits, doing what they could on that first page, and then Chase Potato onto the second page. Not going to see too much down there notable.
Yep. Halo though, not getting any damage that time. So we're getting ready for the next battle. This is the chance for top tier to tie it up 3-3. If they can take a win here on attack, they're going to bring 2 113s, an IS-7 to Mouse, 2 Batchats, and a TVP.
I smell a passive defense coming out of F7 here with that PZ7 playing that same rock,
Yep,
the E4, the Mias Type 5. They are going to set up in a very, very standard defense, and I expect to see top tier be able to break it.
Yeah, it looks like the typical positioning as top tier is going to blitz towards mid as they're opening moves. Looks like they're sending that PZ7 to the typical position. You called it. Spotting going out. Looks like exits gets lit. The only person going to the hill that gets spotted. He's going to take one shell for his trouble as well. But note that the bat chats that went to hill didn't get spotted. Not at all. They were not lit at all by F7. So there's a bit of an element of surprise there that top tier could take advantage of. IS7 is spotted going towards the hill. And not much else. TVP is lit on hill again. Basic defense positions. And not a lot else. We're just going to have to see, James, what top tier goes for. Like when will be their follow-up, or if they'll find any kind of weaknesses that they can exploit early on here.
And that E4 in the south just looking for the shots towards that I7 if he pokes up behind one of those rocks, but he's not going to find it right now. It looks like Delph and Real are actually going to leave the hill, and it's kind of hard to say where they'll go. Judging by the fact the mouse is over on the 8-9, I'd expect maybe over there. Either do the climb or do some sort of push over on the 8-9 line, but we'll see.
All right, well, let's go ahead and take a listen in with top tier and see what their plan is, what they're going for.
If you're without taking a shot, Hako, you should do it.
Yeah, because then you guys had to farm. You guys farm.
How can I bait the 84 shots by not
get lit and book your turret.
Yeah, get lit, book your turret, and
blind fire him.
Even if he hits you and does damage, it's better than him doing damage to the bats.
Alright, guys, ready?
Wait, do you mean going down one speed with you guys?
No, Lop, you just cover us, and T100 goes onto the ledge.
Fixer, you may have to drop. You may have to drive to this. When I
got up the hill. I got up the hill unspotted.
You got it?
Yeah.
Alright, you bats ready? I'm gonna start going down.
Ready. Start baiting.
I haven't been spotted yet.
E4 wasn't spotted going here, right? Did he have a good spawn, or?
Probably had a good spawn.
Either a good spawn or a really good spawn.
They have their Type 5 there. We can boost, guys.
Oh, let's boost.
Yeah, boost. Jojo, boost.
Yeah. Come back.
Boost.
I want to stay there.
They have Type 5 and mouse there. There's literally nothing watching the boost. So just boost.
Panzer 7 can maybe get a slim shot.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine.
Just make sure that you guys are at least like it's not like a trap, like a bat chat trap.
It's not a trap.
There's nothing under the hill. They have nothing on the hill. They won't even light the boost.
What if they have like a T100 just sitting in a bush?
No, they'll probably have bats sitting in a bush.
Probably have the bat, but
yeah, they could have a bat in this.
Probably.
Well, actually, they don't even have good shots on the boost from there, so as long as they don't
no
shots.
Anyways,
hey, Fixer, you may have to. What's it called?
Did you get lit going across?
Come back mid.
No, stop. Guys, just do the boost and don't take damage right now. Like that's really important.
Come back mid.
Alright, we're going.
We do that pinch with the.
Go wide. Don't get lit by the 200.
Our 200 needs to come. Our 113 has to come back to the hill.
Yeah, that's what he's doing right now.
Our bats are boosted.
This IS7, you're gonna be up here going for shots. And if you can get up, Fixer.
Marifel.
You didn't hit me, Delph.
There's 6 minutes left.
Alright, it's fine. We still have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we need our bat to have a lot of time to work up there.
Yeah.
Did you get lit?
Here, we can start right here, Delph. Start pushing me.
You're gonna play right here, Lop. This so you can watch the one line.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll accelerate. Nah, we'll get it.
And that. Bullshit.
Meryl's up.
Right.
I'm coming back to the hill.
Yeah, tell us just go back to hill.
Meryl, tell me when we got the cross. How much? I could try to distract. Tell me where you're gonna cross the opening where they have shots.
I don't have to worry about it if there's nothing under the hill. Unless the Panzer 7 has optics, then maybe he could spot me. Actually, no, he can't.
I-5 to look here something.
Guys, what's the time remaining?
Rude. Five minutes.
Are you watching this? You have sightline of that, right?
We're probably gonna need to group and one 2-line Jojo. There's like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the 1-2 line.
We should group all of our heavies except Hako and JoJo and the bat.
Go for it.
1, 2.
Okay, I'm spotted here. So then, okay, go. Yes, go.
37 there.
Heavies, go. These
Let's go.
three guys
The
can
one
go.
line.
These 3 guys can go. Hako's gonna come down towards mid.
Yeah, Hako can the rock eventually.
Yeah.
Are you farming Miro?
I'm moving up a bit.
I'm clipping. They know I'm up. I only put 750
Okay,
into
we
night.
need to push 1, 2 like
right away.
Yeah, right now.
I'm gonna set up to clip out the E4 when he.
Guys, how many tanks do we have watching the 1, 2? It's the T100 is there as well, right?
Dude, there's 4 tanks on the 9 line.
Probably the T100 bat and
E4
there's
fired?
E4. E4's not
He
E4
fired.
I got 13 seconds
Wait
left.
for the lob.
Panther 7's like YOLOing shit.
We can shoot the Panther 7.
I could force cap on these
Panther
kids.
7 has 100 HP.
Let's go 1-2. Let's go 1-2. Let's go 1-2.
T100 is literally sitting right there.
We're on our way.
Let's go.
I'm going.
3 minutes, guys. Chase, I'm here.
Oh, just fucking kill this guy. I can't. He's not. Is he poking on you?
So 113 there. What are you doing?
Halo, do you have shots online?
Chase is fine. Zone just needs to
I'm
run.
fucking dead.
Shoot exits, guys. If you can, like obviously.
Guys, fix her.
Reset.
I think we might need to push
I just fired Muriel.
Chase mode, come this way.
Halo, try not to get clipped. I'm looking now.
Where's the TVP looking right now?
Bat on boost at 3.
I'm getting shot from behind by the bat.
Yeah, I just reloaded.
Just gotta play for time. Chase
TVP is gonna get chased.
They only have 3 minutes.
Yeah,
If Chase is gonna die, hold on, guys. If Chase is gonna die, we need to play. I think we need to go on this way.
Eventually.
Yeah, I think we
have
need
3
to
minutes.
Can our 57 move this way and get covered?
Not eventually.
Not right
before
now.
the 113s get under here. If the 113s get under
Yeah,
here,
we
yeah.
do
The
this now?
113's get under. Yeah, we need to do it like soon, in the next probably 30 seconds. If we
I
think
can get behind them right now.
Yeah, if we think Chase can't get behind that.
TVP's there. We can do this play.
I'm doing it right now.
Push now.
Going.
Yeah, just get the
He fired
57
one. He
under.
fired one. Andy, you cannot
You guys
push.
can start
Andy,
moving.
Andy, do not push.
What?
Let me do it.
What?
You do not need to push up here.
You're gonna go 1v1 the mouse?
It's a mouse. Like I only have to reset it once.
Well, yeah.
No, what?
Right?
Well,
I missed the
No,
bat.
that is just gonna kill you. I'm gonna
Clipping
this-
me.
I'm
I
coming
know,
in.
Pat's clipping
That's not
me.
gonna make sense.
Make us. We just need to get reset. The Chase needs to survive. I'm gonna push.
TVP is clipping me now.
And this is looking pretty good for top tier now. The Chase Potato is in the backfield. We're trying to wreak some havoc, but JoJo, who still hasn't been reset, he's been hit twice by Spirit Walker, but hasn't done a damaging shot yet, even hit the track. He still has the cap points, 30 seconds, and they're doing a good job at screening this cap. Andy Pants has to push in, and JoJo picks up Spirit Walker. 3 tanks left alive.
Wow.
Fixer picks up Halo.
And now Exits is getting free shots on the side of Andy. Andy's just going to move around in time, for not even going to matter. Exits gets the kill. And now it's all up to a Batchet zoned. Never mind. He's
No,
dead.
it's just Chase Potato,
Just Chase.
who's in a light 100, a T100. Good luck trying to reset. He gets 1 reset. He gets an HE shot on the tracks to get the reset.
Those are fantasy points, all right? Don't take them where you can get them, buddy. And he's just going to run around.
Just to further drive home a point, I just want to say, top tier last defense, aggressive, non-passive defense. This round, very passive defense. Notice the results.
Yeah, although it's more specifically a lack of proper response, and also their static defense lacked the 5A and the Type 5 and the traditional spot.
The one thing I'll say, that's the biggest flaw here, was if you're going to run this passive defense, if you're going to run it, because it does work most of the time, you can't let them have the boost for free.
Yeah.
Like, that's just madness on top of everything.
It was completely free. Like, there was nothing. Wow, okay, there it goes. There goes Chase, and that's going to be it.
It's going to tie the series up 3-3.
Yeah. And I believe we heard in comms a few times that battle.
Rude chiming in?
Yeah, and that kind of tells me that he might just be on comms, just reminding people of what's up. Because the way he was giving advice was like as if he was on the phone. Like, hey, don't forget, focus fire, guys, left to right. When you get to those brawls, and
keep
remember,
an eye on the timer.
Make sure you guys don't forget to have a good breakfast.
When you're good enough, like Rude.
Yeah.
If you can hear your team's comms, you can kind of figure out, piece together where tanks are and what's being said. Especially if team's comms are good enough and they're descriptive enough.
Yeah.
And Rude is going to be jumping back in, so you can certainly try to micro call like that. Now, It is perfectly legal here online. Live finals not allowed.
If he was
though.
like streaming from his from the players to him live so that he could do that or something, that would be wrong. But there's actually, yeah, you're right. There's nothing wrong with being on comms in that training room.
Yep. You can chime in and give some advice. Now it's a little bit different at the live finals, but here online, perfectly allowed. Now looking at the damage here, exits 5k damage, 3 kills, 146 fantasy points, and then Muriel another 3,400. The Batchat up on that boost doing 61, and then Hako, that IS-7 another 2,756 fantasy points. Mako Spirit doing what they can. Chase Potato, not bad for a little T100. I'll give him that. 1,800 damage, get some reset points, but you know, not a whole lot he could do with the team the way that was set up.
Not bad, though. I mean, the T100s are doing a little bit more damage. The DPM buff is nice.
Yeah, definitely.
And then PZ7 by night didn't get to do anything. Actually, he got torn apart. Because the whole reason that F7's defensive positions weren't that great was in large part due to the lack of tanks in forward positions. Everyone was very, very far back in super conservative defensive positions, which altogether, you saw how those led to a Batchat getting onto a boost, and then from that boost being able to fire onto PZ7 without anyone having anything to do about it. Because of that little thing, that's where the opening came in, and that's why Knight got destroyed. But now, James, we move on to Ghost Town.
Map number 4, one we didn't think we were going to get to. Remember, most of us predicted 5-1, so the fact that this is as close as it is, it says a lot about F7. However, you do have to remember that for 3 rounds, Rude Awakening has not been playing, which definitely factors in. Now, we do move on, like you said, to Ghost Town, which is a map that we said if it got this far should go to top tier because they just have the better brawlers, it seems, at the moment.
But our predictions have already been thrown out the window. So, James, 3 mice, T57, 2 5As, and a Batchat for F7. On the other side of 50B, 2 mice, T57, 2 Type 5s, and a Batchat.
Singular T57 for both teams. We'll have to see how that works.
And then a lot of Type 5s as opposed to the 5As.
Yeah, no, Type 5s, they always do damage, just like HE shells, so you know you got that. However, like we saw F7 exploit earlier, they have a very long reload and relatively poor DPM, provided they're not penetrating all their shots. If they penetrate all their shots, they have some insane DPM, but good luck with that.
Yeah. We'll see. And then look at this, opening defense from top tier. Looks like they're going to shift a lot of tanks south to prep for early aggression on that side, sending Muriel on a little scout run that way too. And then sending Type 5s and mice to typical positions, but very, very odd in the sense that nothing is really scouting the 1 cav up north. And that's actually going to allow Chase Potato to put some pressure onto the
well, there's the philosophy of you know where tanks are by knowing where they're not. And since they've taken the south and they have a Batchat down there and they're going to be able to scout around, they're going to know that they have to be in that north because they're not in the middle courtyard. So the main reason you leave a tank up there is to get a quick and easy reset, which top tier are not in position to do right now. However, it looks like the Type 5 and the mouse over there are getting in position right now.
Yeah, it looks like Halo is on cap. Might get joined by Chase in a moment. Is he going to? Looks like he will. Chase is going to just take the safest possible route and put 2 on cap. So that pressure will mean that the response from top tier cannot come too late. Knight's even going to throw himself on for a 3 cap. And because of that, James, the pressure's on. Joe Jack just puts 1 towards the cap, but not on the cap. Exit's taking damage finally. Andypan's backing down a little bit, giving ground. You want to hold a strong line because Hako might even be able to sneak a shell from his position in the middle of the map to get resets.
JoJo gets 1 reset, but 18 seconds on cap. They need another tank in position because I don't think JoJo will be reloaded in time.
Hako might be the one to get that connection. He's actually going to just decide forward is the best direction.
Knows he
Go
has
out
to.
the open.
He's going to fire a shot, get the reset.
Nicely done.
Another 15, 30 seconds there because one of the tanks comes off cap, and now JoJo should be reloaded, but he's committed so far forward to make sure he got the lights that he's going to go down. And F7 are looking decent right now. However, they are bleeding a lot of HP as Spirit Walker goes down. Makos and Zone both being focused out, and top tier winning in the brawl right now.
Wow, and even it looks like tanks might even decide to get off cap from F7. Chase Potato and Halo. Now, important here for top tier is if they can keep Chase and Halo from being relevant in the fight, they'll actually be able to do pretty well to just finish this off because looks like cap's going to be
and the cavalry has arrived as Leptev and Rude Awakening are just going to push in right now straight into Andy Pans. Akako's going to follow it up. As Delph comes around the corner, he should be reloaded in that 50B, and the 57 of exits also just empty this clip. So they should be able to focus out these tanks for F7 before too long here.
There we go. Almost 1 more into Chase. Looks like took 2. He's going to go down. And with that, 3 tanks alive, top tier is winning handily this time. And only 2 remain, Knight and Halo being focused now. And it's just the slow death of a large, heavy lineup finishing your team off. That was decisive. That was well done. For a moment, I was worried for top tier, losing Joe Jackie the way they did. But the focus fire, the brawling, the positioning from everyone on top tier was on point.
Now, I've mentioned that I'm not a big fan of just bringing one T57, however, paired with another 50B seems to be working just fine.
It's very nice. Yeah. Quick reload 57, the slightly higher damage 50B.
Same damage, but it has the APCR cells, the main advantage, and a little bit more accurate range. So, you know, it complements it nicely. It's a little bit faster.
Yeah, I kind of like to put it as higher damage in like an effective way. Like, you'll do less damage overall if you have a wider dispersion on a Russian cannon, for example.
Fair enough. And then the heat shells for the 57, those will fizz out too. APCR won't. So, yeah, I get your point.
It's just higher average. It's a little more consistently. Yeah. And that's why the T57 has the potential to be amazing because of its little nuances, but it's not just going to be amazing.
A lot of things have to go right. We've seen T57s come up straight behind mice before and empty a clip and not do any damage. It's not. Yeah, like, it's a very fickle beast to
whereas
manage.
A 50B, like if you ran into the same situation, you're not going to suffer for the same little mistakes. Like you'll get away with some things. Of course, you're not going to snipe the way a T57 can, and you're not going to hull down nearly. Well, T57 is not great either, but you're
better.
Better. Yeah. I mean, it could be worse.
Yep. And so overall, it was just you know, after they got that reset, that getting that first reset was a little bit nerve-wracking for me. But once that happened, it seemed like they were in all the control. Yeah. And if you look at the points here, Leptev, Exits, Delth, and Maria all doing pretty good. 3K plus pretty much. 74, 81, 75, 55. Not bad there. Yeah. Like Hako, another 60. Then Halo and Mako's on the first page for F7.
And then second page, you're going to see coming in. Yeah, most of F7. Then Rude not getting to do too much. And Joe Jackie,
he was the sacrificial lamb that had to make sure that those resets came in and the lights were there for Akako. So you know, I don't think he could really do there.
Yeah, just unfortunate for him. Other than that, though, T57 doing a little underwhelming damage, and we go on to switch sides. And so now that we're going to switch sides, this is potentially the final battle. We could be seeing top tier win here, or we could be seeing F7 start tying it up. Because if F7 takes it, they're going to tie, and they potentially deny top tier raising their placement.
Yeah, and also you have to remember we have to keep an eye on the Teal Team 6 M60s game later, because if F7 lose this like they're about to, then you know if M60s get anything out of that game, it will be them going on to the playoffs. Now looking at it here, F7 coming in with 2 mice, 2 Type 5s, T57, 113, and a Bat Chat. Top tier in their hand, a 50B. 2 mice, a T57, a Type 5, a 5A, and a Bat Chat.
All right, so similar lineups in a lot of ways. Yep. Not a lot of huge variations, just a little flavor. And we'll have to see what the plan is. That's going to really tell what happens here. What's the opening play, who individually outplays the other, and if we see any major tactical decisions that have that kind of an impact. I'm going to see an opening move as we jump right on in. Halo going for an opening scout run. Might meet up with Muriel. And it looks like a little southwest play from top tier, not going towards the traditional 1 cap. And Muriel is spotted by Halo. While everything from F7 is going towards the typical 1 cap defense. So nothing out of place here. Nothing strange, nothing a little different, nothing at all. And it looks like F7 is going to pull Halo out. He's going to go back north.
Yeah, Spirit Walker and that 113 just firing some shells towards that 1 cap, trying to break up some of the buildings, make sure they have a clean line of sight. He doesn't know that it won't matter yet because the rest of the guns for top tier are all on the south end of the 2 cap. Halo looks like he's going to maybe go to the climb, it looks like. Yeah, he's lining up to do the climb over here.
There we go. That should happen. Now, we're actually going to be focused more on the...
I don't really see the... sorry, I got to say, they're doing this climb, and he's doing it poorly and not going to make it.
Oh, Halo.
However, what's the point? You know the cap pressure's on that south cap there. You know that there's no one coming to this 1 cap. That's the only thing that Batchat's really good for is sitting up at A1 to get the 1 cap resets. If the play is going to be down here on the south, it's not really going to be that effective up there.
No, it's not. And speaking of that, let's turn our attention towards something perhaps more relevant to the immediate victory and listen in on top tier's comms and see what they're talking about.
Oh, I started to lag. And
There he is. Okay, so just be ready for shots, guys. Okay.
I'm moving over. I'm not watching inside anymore.
I'm gonna creep up the cells just in case the bats moved away.
If we take the south, we could just pressure with
If they push me, just get shots in them, okay?
Well, this time I can shoot you.
Yeah, I know. I'm aiming at him.
How many tanks is that up there?
That's like everything's been next.
It's 5. It's 5. It's 5.
Okay.
Somebody support Miro. Yeah.
113 hasn't been lit for a while. He could be trying to get this hole down.
No, 113. I think he's trying to poke around up north, around me.
I haven't lit the bat in a while. He's probably north.
Shit.
I mean, he could be hiding.
Nice. Good trade. Good trade.
Don't bleed.
You shouldn't poke that rude.
Yeah,
you guys could probably just like.
I'm gonna come around north with a 57 and a 50B.
We're good. 2000.
I can't cross though. There.
Oh, you can't? Okay. I think there's a 113 watching this corner.
Just be ready for that bat to come in and clip at any point.
Yeah, type 5.
If he tries to flip you out, Murl, then just run through.
We can force triple
Are
cap.
they pushing?
We can force triple cap to make him yellow us.
Actually, I can take this angle over here and like aim up here.
Their bat could be at D1 as well.
There's type 5.
Want to do that, Rude. I could get on cap with Hako, and they have to YOLO in through here to get a reset.
Yeah,
let's do it.
They're gonna try to go. Just bleed them. We have 7 minutes. It's fine. Like.
They're going.
These 7's poking.
I don't want to take a shot against the size 7 or 50.
These 7 fired 1.
I can bait him.
Track them.
Okay, they push.
They're pushing.
They're pushing.
Like if
Andy's
we have to kill Night. Nice. Okay. Chase.
I am reloading.
I got him.
I got him.
Okay, nice.
We're loading.
Kill the Moss. The Moss is yelling into the open.
Moss in the open.
I'm moving forward.
Bat. I'm gonna get clipped out.
That's
gonna go around.
Keep pushing.
I have 3 shells.
That's yelling me.
Oh, my shot just went through his turret.
That's fine.
Andy, track me.
751.
Okay, push these guys. We're good. Kill them. 5 minutes. Nice job.
I only have 1 shell.
Is that 5?
Oh, crap.
They can't be dusty now.
I have 1 shell up.
I'm reloading.
Don't suicide.
We gotta switch to Slack. That's what everyone uses.
No.
And that is going to be top tier, making quick work of F7 on Ghost Town. Pretty decisive stuff there. A little bit of confusion coming out of F7. Some decisions that I kind of disagree with. Overall, they just really weren't set up to deal with that south cap, and I really got to like it out of top tier. They got that cap pressure built up, and then you heard, I think it was Fixer say, we can just get a second tank on cap, and from when they did that, all of a sudden it came down to like 10 seconds to get a reset, and at that point F7 had no choice but to just throw everything but the kitchen sink at it, and they were able to just kill tank after tank. Knight went down, then you heard them say chase, and they made sure they got him dead. And then they turned and got the mouse. It was just very systematic, good focus fire, good teamwork. Just like I said earlier, top tier, they're good brawlers. That's something that they are fantastic at.
Yeah, it's their thing. And as we have just a few minutes left and 25 seconds on cap, it's kind of comical to just sit here and watch exits just be flipped over. Like he's just
is he on his side?
He's on his side. He's just been there, just doing that. Looks like even to the point now they're actually going to flip him on his head.
Well, what they're trying to do is trying to back him up to flat ground so he doesn't have the wall up against him, and then they can flip him over back onto his tracks. And these tanks are trying. The cap's going to come out before they can do it, though. That's going to be it.
Yep. And he flips back on,
and he gets the kill.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. That was more than perfect. And that's the cap, and that's the game. Wow, that's going to do it.
All right, that is going to be top tier. 5-3 over F7. Pretty decisive stuff. Outside of the couple games that they dropped, they looked pretty good all night. Even without Rude playing on mines, they looked pretty decisive. I loved the defense they ran. Their offense was also pretty decent. A lot of good timing there. I like that. Just those Murrow battles, just a little bit questionable.
Well, yeah, I actually tracked through the series when Rude was here and when he was gone, because of course I consider him to be that crucial centerpiece for the team. And so Battle 1 happens, right?
Yep.
And then Battle 2 happens. Obviously, something goes wrong for top tier. They're not playing characteristic to what we expect. We have a job for a reason. It's to be able to see these patterns, right?
Yep.
So they start playing a little strange. And then Battle 3 happens. This is after the loss of Battle 2, so now they actually lost after some connection issues. Rude sits out. And then he also sits out for the entirety of Murrow. We only hear him again on
the last game of Mines.
No, we hear him on... Oh, yeah, you're right. He's back in the training room, and we don't hear him on Mines 1. And then Mines Battle 2, we finally hear his voice on the listen. You're right. Sorry, excuse me.
Yep.
And then we finally get him back into battle for Ghost Town. So the entire middle section of this series, one of those important people was oddly absent.
Yep, and, overall, it looks here... What was the record with and without Rude? Like, just straight up rounds for...
When Rude was there and playing, Battle 1, win. Battle 2, connection issues, loss. He's out, a loss. He's out one more time, a loss. He's back in the training room, conceivably on comms, but not in the battle. There's a win on Mines. And then you hear him on comms for another win, and then as he is back into battle on Ghost Town, every single battle after that is a win.
Yeah, they won four straight. They won four straight to close it out.
Rude is gone. Top tier begins losing immediately. The second he's back, they turn it around.
Yep. Now looking at it, Spirit Walker coming in here, almost 4K damage, not bad considering his team lost. It's 490 fantasy points. Exits another 3,800, 2 kills, another 90 fantasy points there. Then Levtev, Rude, Akako, and JoJo. Halo doing what he can, also for F7, only 2K though. And then the second page, Delth, the 50B, a nice 2K. Exits, or not exits, sorry, excuse me, zoned, another 2K, and it drops off pretty heavily after there. That's going to bring us to the post-match stats. Exits going off tonight. That's 528 fantasy points. Left have another 362. Mako's doing what he can. Top damage dealer for F7, second time since joining the team, another 344. 352 out of Halo, and then Akako, Muriel, and Delph all doing what they can. All 300 plus, all respectable. 346, 350 out of Muriel, not bad. Spirit Walker, another popular fantasy pick, another 314, still respectable. JoJo, who's had a fantastic season, didn't play all last season. Got the chance to start earlier on with the roster changes, and he earned and kept his starting spot, and he's been performing well all season.
Very middle of the road for him, but not bad score overall.
And dropping off after there for the rest, a couple 300 pluses, just Pito, but nothing too special down there.
Yeah, and that's the battle there for you. I think that one came down to top tier having some connection issues, losing a lot of their focus, and then bringing things back. So we're actually going to talk now with Rude about that series. It's he joins us again. Rude.
How's it going, guys?
Dude, we heard you had some connection issues.
Yeah.
Trust me, I mapped it out for you. I've already got the timeline, and I wanted to break this down and get your reaction. So, Rude, Battle 1, Ruinberg, you're there, right? Your connection's okay. Okay, right? You guys win. Battle 2, connection issues, right?
Yeah, I just had a phantom cat, kill one of the cables or something. So.
Something goes on. I don't know, you don't know, we don't know, but stuff's happening.
Yep.
Obviously, it's a mystery.
So, I mean, our team, we prepare for things like this, so it's not like this is not something that we are not prepared for. Like, I simulate people saying, hey, look, this person's off, and I throw people in scrims, and they just have to play, and they have to be ready to play. Backup role that Fixer had to play today is one of the most difficult roles to play in the game of World of Tanks and professional tank play, because you just have to know like so many different positions. You have to know the strats, and as a substitute player that Fixer is playing right now, it's honestly the toughest position, because during scrims he doesn't even get to play that much, and it's really hard to not play much and then perform well when you're being thrown into a game. Yeah, so definitely hats off to Fixer today for really playing well.
Copy that. Kept the team going.
All right, so going into the playoffs now. Now you guys got that win. You won 4 straight there at the end to get the W. How do you feel going into playoffs?
Well, we need to practice better. I think we are confident. I think we're building confidence. I think we are improving across the board. So far, over the last 3 weeks, I feel like we take 4 or 5 steps forward and only 1 step back instead of usually like 2 or 3 steps forward and 1 step back. So we're definitely making really good progress. And I think we'll be ready for the online playoffs. And I really hope that we get to make it to the LAN finals because I think the world will see like a really, really strong top tier.
All right.
We're practicing a lot, yeah.
All right, well, I look forward to it. Rude, any final thoughts for your fans out there?
Thanks for cheering for us. I know this season has been absolutely crazy for top tier. It's been probably arguably the most crazy season any team has ever had. And I look forward to seeing you guys later.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Once again, congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you again so much,
Rude. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about those offline scores, because I see a few things over on your screen that raise an eyebrow.
All right, so while we had a moment, I looked them up, and 07 versus Eclipse. Now, I don't have the final update there, but it is currently 4-0 in favor of Eclipse. And looking at the time, it looks like Battle 1, actually, on defense went completely to time. It was Eclipse defending on mines. Actually, time just ran out.
Yep. Now, the one thing that I want to bring up here is that other one, M60s. Current score is 4-2. Now, what that means, even though that game is not over yet, that is guaranteed 1 point for Aquatic M60s. And since Top Tier just lost, that means Aquatic M60s...
Or Top Tier just won.
Yeah, F7 just lost, sorry. Yeah, F7 lost and Top Tier just won, which means that Aquatic M60s at this point get that 6th place spot by default. Doesn't matter what happens with the rest of their game. They could lose in overtime, but they still get that 1 extra point that F7 do not have. And
for them.
That is going to be Aquatic M60s making it into the playoffs. Now,
and what's that mean for Teal Team 6?
Teal Team 6, that also means that they cannot take that 2nd place seed, especially since Eclipse have 1 point up on the board. They're now shut out from getting that. The only team that can challenge them is Dare, and that's only if 07 managed to win 4 straight to force overtime. So good luck with that. So pretty much it looks like, provided things go as is, Eclipse should have 2nd place wrapped up, and that should be Aquatic M60s taking 6th place into the playoffs. Now, any final thoughts before we cut to a short break?
No, that was a surprising match, but altogether I feel pretty good about that, don't you?
Yeah, no, it was fun to watch. A lot of surprises. However, guys, we have to get ready for our next match, so we'll take a few minutes, but don't go anywhere because we'll be right back.
All right.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with more World of Tanks action. Once again, I'm James Rockstar Grief, joined alongside Randall Rukiel Holcomb. We just watched F7 get defeated by top tier 5-3. However, up next, we have Elevate versus Dare Rising, our first versus third seeds. Should be a fun match, kind of be able to gauge where Dare's at. Dare needs a win here to even have a shot at the playoffs, depending upon the offline results. We do also have another update. We do know that it is 4-4 now between Aquatic M60s and Teal Team 6. Still does not matter, though. Aquatic M60s have guaranteed that spot to the playoffs next Tuesday.
Yep, and of course, Eclipse has, it looks like they've 5-0'd. Over 07.
Yep, they closed it out, so they'll get that win there. And yeah, so let's go ahead and move into our first match of the series, which will be, or not first match, our second match of the series.
We have a few things to get done first. We need to remind everyone about the Twitter, and of course, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WGLNA, using that hashtag WGLNA, and of course, Facebook.com/WGLNA, where you can join us and watch us do some preview stuff. And real quick, of course, FantasyTanks.com. If you're not already there, you should be. And you only need a World of Tanks account to sign up and win prizes, Type 59s and gold. So we've got
now,
that.
Now let's move into the second match.
Yes.
Which is going to be Elevate versus Dare Rising. Elevate had two of their bench players, Comps, their manager, and then Striker, who has barely played this season, step into their starting lineup during the last match day. Does not look like we will be seeing them today, though. Will be their normal lineup that we have seen this whole season. Wallhacks, their caller, and then external Vetro, Dodo, Ox, Brett, and Canadian Impact all in the starting lineup, at least to start this series.
At least they're that. And then on the other side, they'll be facing up against Dare, a lineup that has made minimal changes, only one. We're adding Mr. Man very recently, and we'll see what they can do to turn their fortunes around. Dare looked very strong at the beginning of the season, almost like they would unseat Eclipse, but it's been difficult for them, a hard fight. And actually, there's been a group forming in that second, third placed area to kind of a dog pile, as it were, meaning that where Dare only had one target to kind of overcome Eclipse, they've now found that they're struggling amongst other teams to compete for that second place.
During this last weekend, though, the big noticeable thing here is Mr. Man joining Dare Rising. Had a pretty decent first match day in one of the offline matches, but now we get to see him in action with his new team.
Yeah, we do. And, well, that's them. Let's look on and talk about now a little bit about those map choices that we've gotten for the series. It looks like we're going to be having, I'll bring up the first map. You see Murrow and Cliff are banned, but the first map's going to be Mines. So, oh, am I incorrect about that? Ruinberg, Murrow? Elevate Dare? Nah, it looks like I might be mistaken there.
Yeah, let's see your maps. The way I have them anyways, that is going to be Mines up first and then Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, just a little error. They'll just throw that out and it's fine.
So anyways, to go over the map pool, it is Mines and Himmelsdorf first, then Prokhorovka and Ghost Town in the series.
So altogether, just going from that small defensive 1-on-1 map into Himmelsdorf where Elevate should dominate, and then on to Proc where things can get a little dicey, and then onto Ghost Town where Elevate should be able to finish the series out. So it's a matter of looking at our predictions really and seeing whether or not that Dare can put up enough wins at all to break them, because I say 5-2, James, you say 5-1, and Ute says 5-3. You're giving Dare a lot of credit here.
With a 5-1, I think the biggest thing there is they're losing motivation for things to play for now. They can't get second place. They know that guaranteed since Eclipse has won. So they're basically fighting for a playoff seed somewhere in the online playoffs. They do want to obviously keep their third place spot, but that's a lot less motivation than, hey, free buy from the online playoffs straight to the finals. Let's do it. That's really not a motivation for them anymore. And Elevate, after dropping their last point, and this being their last live match until the finals, I think they'll probably step it up a little bit. I don't expect to see anything really new out of them, but I expect to see them on top of their game, playing well as a team, and really taking it to Dare.
Absolutely. So with that, James, altogether, we'll just have to wait and see what's going on. But let's talk to the captains of Elevate and Dare, who are ready for the face-off. Gentlemen, thank you for waiting, and welcome to the broadcast. Comps, you guys have some explaining to do, and I want to hear about last match and what was that? What happened? Because news is out, but it wasn't on broadcast.
Oh. Well, I played. That's what happened.
Yeah, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that, Comps?
So Impact was having internet issues up until like the second last game, and Dodo was having a migraine, so he just was out of it for most of the day. So basically, myself and Striker had to step up and play. So.
And that was the one day they showed up and really brought it to you guys?
Well, I mean, we did, I guess, relatively well for having Striker and I play, like, in the roster. We went 1-1 on pretty much every map up until the 4th map where, you know, then Impact and Dodo were able to come back and basically try to clean it up. But it was already too late at that point. It didn't really matter because we already clinched that first seed.
Yeah,
so, you know.
Business as usual then?
Yep.
All right, now, Aggressor, going over to you. During the roster change this weekend, you guys obviously picked up Mr. Man. This is the first time we're seeing you on broadcast. So why don't you go ahead and tell your side of the story? How did that all materialize? What does he bring to your team?
He's going to fill the role that Durjo played, so the carry TD role. And I was looking for a player to fill that role, and we found it. And Mr. Man plays a lot of the STRV, so we definitely needed him on the team. And since AIM-60 wasn't doing too well, we were able to grab him.
Nice. All right. Going into today, guys, I know this is a pretty important match for Dare. Dare, how are you guys feeling going into this match?
I'm pretty relaxed. It's not like I was pretty stressed after the Eclipse game, but this game I'm just going to give it my all, really. It's going to be between really me and Wally calling each other out. So whoever can call best and make the best flexes, I think is going to win tonight.
All right. Well, the one last thing I want to get to, I asked this to the other two captains earlier. Now that it's the last week of the season, let's start with comps. Did this season go like you thought it would from start to finish?
Except for that hiccup on Tuesday. Yeah, pretty much went just as I expected. You know, finishing number 1, and then having that top seed going into the playoffs.
All right. And then, Aggressor, when we talked to you start of the season, you guys had some high ambitions for the season. Obviously, I think you guys fallen a little bit short, at least in your opinion. Has this season gone as well as you wanted it to? Less? Where are you guys at? How do you feel about it?
I mean, I wish we got second place. I don't really think Eclipse deserved it. They didn't really play too well. But, yeah, right. I'm really, that's kind of what it comes down to, is we didn't get second place. So that's where I wanted to be, and we're not there.
All right. Fair enough. All right, well, I won't keep you guys any longer. Dare and Aggressor, you have any final thoughts for Comps and Elevate?
Nothing much, man. Just GGs. Hope they go well for us, right?
Comps.
All right, Comps.
Good luck and have fun.
All right, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you on the battlefield in just a minute.
All right.
I love it when Comps just can sense the opponent is just already kind of defeated a little bit, and he just gets that little smile.
He's like, yeah, you better not talk big, because you know what's probably going to happen. Like, you know what happens when you talk big.
And it's nice when you're on a team like Elevate that can back it up, you know?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the problem when you're the best team is if you start talking big all the time, you're being really mean, right?
And already by being in first, everyone has a target on your back.
Exactly. So once you're in the position to back it up, you shouldn't be doing it. And if you're in the position that you should be saying stuff, you can't necessarily always back it up. So it's like this weird, unfortunate back and forth situation. It's like, oh.
Yep. No, I hear you.
You feel bad because you want Dare to come out with all sorts of fire, but you know that always hurts when it doesn't go your way at the end.
Yep. Now we do go into the first battle, which is going to be Mines, and it is going to be Dare Rising on offense. So, Elevate having to defend here. Are we going to see more of the standard passive sort of play, or do we think they're going to pull something out of their sleeves?
That's the question here is, if you are going to start off on attack, are you going to go for something a little crazy, or are you going to try and start slow, start easy, and just warm up? Because you see a lot of Battle 1s go poorly. Usually for the team like Elevate, the advantage team, usually messing up and then coming back for the rest of the battles and just winning. But same thing for Dare. If they don't start off on a good foot, that could really bite them later, because a lot of these maps later in the series are even better for Elevate. So if they can get early wins, this is what it's their path to victory. Yep. But lineups, James.
Well, it's going to be a 113, a 50B, an I7, 2 Mice, an E4, and a Batchat coming in for Elevate. Not the most flexible lineup in the world. Meanwhile, Dare Rising, 2 113s, 2 I7s, a Mouse, a Batchat, and a TVP. So a vastly more flexible lineup. HP is going to be really close, actually, with the lineups. It's going to be Elevate ahead by 600 just on raw HP to start the game. So
there we go. And looks like we're going to have Canadian going for early spotting towards the west side, but not actually moving in that direction. You've got almost no spotting on the mid-hill. Only TVP, Aggressor, getting lit. Getting a little deja vu here.
making sure that no one's doing that climb in the south. It's become a bit more difficult to do since a few patches ago, however, still possible, so teams make sure that they deny it. And we're going to see Dodo actually firing some HE shells into the roofs of the buildings over on the 9 line. Just going to give himself a little bit better line of sight towards that cap in the approach.
And there we go. 113's moving out in the open. IS-7's in the second row.
Oh, they're going for it. They're going for it early. There's no beating around the bush.
There's almost nothing around the corner. Oxmathis is at a actually dangerous distance. It's kind of hard to put connecting shells into him. And Mr. Man's going to take a lot of damage trying to move into this position. Also now in a crossfire as everyone turns and tries to focus on the tanks under the hill as the IS-7s just decide forward is the best direction. Harmless catches fire for a minute and is going to be slowed down for it. There's 1-2-3 now up against Anime Lord Brett and Dodoma 2v2 there, while the actually not a great fight under the hill for Dare either. Overall, this is not a great position to be in for Dare.
And Aggressor's going to come off the hill, try to get his clip in there. Harmless and 1-2-3 going back and forth. Brett is reloading. They're trying to push onto Dodoma, but they know Vetro's in the distance, ready for shots.
Focus fire is that important right now. It has to happen. You need to get the kills, or else this is really going to go in the favor of Elevate. If Dare can just get the focus fire working and get the kills they need on external, onto Wallhacks, Oxmathis, whoever they need, that's what needs to happen. But right now the spread's a little bit dangerous. As Oxmathis finally goes down, there goes Aggressor and external. Okay, and now 50B is reloaded from Brett, and Vetro has not taken any damage. It is 4v4, and the hit points are right now in favor of Elevate, our defenders.
Nice, Sevens finding some shots onto Wallhacks, and Dark Ninja is going to reload and back away. The IS-7s are the only thing holding this alive for Dare right now, as Bird is still somehow alive as he goes down to Vetro.
And there, Dodome actually backing off, knowing he has to give ground, actually going to proxy light a few tanks. He's actually going to be just barely 50 meters, meaning
Dark Ninja gets up on the hill, and it's enough. The biggest thing, if Dark Ninja's up there, it's going to come down to Vetro and Harmless here, and he's going to come around, and he's going to get a connection onto 1-2-3 and take him down.
That was actually, in a way, a smart play, because Harmless could have only needed one shell from an E4, where Harmless could actually shrug off one of those shells from the 50B Brett. And there he goes. Now, this is a clutch situation. Can Dark Ninja actually hold on to this? Because he has 3 shells, but there's more than 3 shells worth of damage to be dealt. So he can take down Dodo, he could take down Vetro with 1 shell each. But Brett's going to be the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brett's the autoloader, so, well, you could decide to kill Brett. I mean, that's a possibility.
Dark Ninja's going to play this angle.
But he knocks a tree down, and actually the way he did that, the timing of it, if you can't see it on the screen right now, but Brett and Dodo are actually waiting there.
And a nice shot from Dark Ninja.
Nicely done.
Dodo's actually going to close in the blind spot while Brett holds that angle.
Oh, is he? Or is
he? No, he backs off. He looks like he was going to commit, but decided not to let Vetro get into the fight here.
And actually, Dark Ninja's going to be on reload. And Brett, Dodo are going to back off. Dark Ninja, smartly, I think, is going to actually possibly jump off the hill. I think that would be a prudent choice, as he is right now 15 seconds on reload. And where's Vetro going right now, James?
Looks like Vetro's going around to the right, hold the back angle, so they're just going to set up shop here and just play the hole down off the tank corpses in the south. Well, Dodo and Brett look towards the hill. That does leave their 1 line a little bit exposed. Vetro may get picked off from that angle if they're not careful, but the biggest trick there is going to be finding a light on him, which I don't think he can do by himself over from that 1 line.
If Dark Ninja makes the right approach onto this, he could actually kill Brett and Dodo without too much trouble. Oh, but they're backing off. They think he's left. And that, Dark Ninja, watch out for your trees. He's deciding what to do. There's 5 minutes left, so there's plenty of time for this fast, lighter, medium tank to actually clutch the battle. He could go waterside. Of course, that's dangerous because you find yourself stranded sometimes. Being on the hill was actually quite nice for him in many ways.
Look at the setup that they have. They're just moving the tank corpses around. They have some hold down cover.
Nice.
Brett's just looking towards the 1 line. Vetra sitting in the bush behind the mouse. They're setting up shop, and they're all happy. And it looks like Dark Ninja up on the hill, though, may actually get a prox light.
He probably will. He's looking to just try and spot something farther out, but he's barely avoiding getting close enough to proxy anything. Just barely.
Trying to see if he can spot off someone to pick off.
Well, he just doesn't know where anything truly is. Because the problem with this is that you have to spot everything and then get the kill. And, well, because of spotting notifications, you we'll know if Dark Ninja's at least... Yeah, it was a little scary, right?
Yeah, it's really tricky getting off that hill in some spots. If you go at too steep an angle, you can take a lot of damage. We saw last week, I forgot who it was, but on the last match day, someone went off the hill and took like, it was like 600 or 700 damage in a bat shot. I think it was zoned on F7.
Yeah, you're right.
Last time we saw them.
Yeah, because I remember because you were... whenever Zone does stuff like that, you always get pretty amused. I can't say I don't either. But now Dark Ninja's moving in from the east side.
He's gonna go for the boost. Yeah, he's doing the boost, and Dodo should spot him.
Oh no!
Take one shot.
Dark, why?
And he's gonna get up there. No, he's gonna get on the rock. I don't know that he can actually leave here without being shot. I think the guns are in the position.
That's the dangerous thing here. Is I think you might be right. He's gone dark though. He's not spotted anymore. He is spotted now.
Well, now Dodo's in proximity range.
That was well, it was a risk, but didn't pay off this time. All right, Dark, for honor and glory, figure it out.
Oh, he's just poking around, trying to find an angle on someone, and he's going to knock over a bush. Maybe some blind fire coming in here.
No, he's got to be proxy lit right now. So
there
it is.
Oh, Brett got up to the hill. That's what a shot came in from. And that's going to be Elevate closing it out. A little slow last few minutes while they try to get Dark Ninja down, but sometimes with the lineup you bring, and Batchat could be a sneaky little tank, so he was able to get around there and draw it out for a few more minutes, let them figure out what they're doing for the next battle, see if he can find a way to somehow maybe steal a win there, which highly unlikely, but got to try.
Yeah, it was possible is kind of the important thing. The fact that it was possible, you're a Batchat, you're mobile enough. It would have been nice, but yeah, it's probabilities against you. Yeah. So let's take a look at, again, some of those plays in the match and break down a little bit of what we saw here. So opening moves, that big 113 I7 push.
Yeah, I think Elevate responded to it well. They got all their tanks there. Vetro covering from the distance, managed to get some shots in. The I7s on that corner weren't necessarily as effective as they maybe could have been. 50B was able to get away and get onto multiple clips, obviously. So they needed that I7 to really clean up. The I7s to really clean up one side or the other, because that brawl under the hill was too many tanks and too many HP to get through it quickly, and they were kind of boxed in, and it was a good response from Elevate, so I just don't think Dare had too much to work with. Now look at the damage. 3,700 basically for Brett, 2 kills, 90 fantasy points. Stark Ninja, another 3,500, 66 fantasy points. Vetro in the E4, nothing surprising there, seeing him with 3,200 damage, 2 kills, 63. And then 1, 2, 3, Bird, Dodoma, and Ox running up the first page.
There we go, final page there. You can see damage really falls off. And a lot of those Dare tanks just getting destroyed before they could deal more damage than, well, everything from Elevate got a chance.
Yep, and poor Mr. Man, first tank focused out on that push when they went up that 9 line.
Yeah. Altogether, though, we'll put that behind us. And Elevate's going to be on attack now. Dare on defense. As we look towards the lineups, you can see 4 113s, a mouse, and 2 Batchats for Elevate. Dare is going to bring a mouse, 2 5As, 2 E4s, a Batchat, and T100. So that says much more typical defensive positions. While what's Elevate's lineup saying?
Their Elevate's lineup is saying very similar to what Dare just did. They're going to go aggressive. We've seen a lot of 113 lineups on the 1 line, so maybe something along there. Try to break the standard defense, especially with those 2 E4s, and the mouse is going to be a pain. So overall, though, I don't think that Dare will... I don't know that they'll be able to respawn. I don't think they're mobile enough to really deal with this lineup, especially if Elevate take that 1 line.
Indeed. Opening scout moves, though. Looks like wall hacks going west. Mid scout, easy peasy. Canadian impact on the Overwatch. He's not going to really find much.
And they're going to start going towards the hill. One of the mice closing. It's going to be Dodo, the mouse, closing towards the hill. Canadian impact up on the hill. Poking around, and a lot of damage going towards Elevate early on.
Yeah, it is. They're just bleeding a little bit here and there. And it's just standard defense stuff. So we'll wait and see what kind of happens, and where this is going to go. There's nothing really standing out, aside from the fact that there's a lot more defensive, like kind of blind fire to destroy certain cover from Dare than I'm used to seeing. Like they're just being a little more proactive about taking down little buildings and things here and there.
Well, especially on the defense, if you're gonna run this passive defense, the biggest thing is that you make sure that when your enemy pokes, that you punish them heavily. And so, especially with these E4s and 5As, if you can get a couple shots and really chip down that HP before they make that push, it makes your job as the defender that much easier.
It does. And then I'm gonna have to just see what our attacker Elevate finds, what they go for as a weakness, as we see Brett's gonna shift east. And it looks like maybe a bat chat to go for the boost as well. Let's take a listen in with Elevate and see what they're talking about as they gear up to make this attack.
E4 just fired from K4.
Okay, so they have an E4 here now.
Yeah, he just shot at me. Tried to.
I'm spotted.
We need to see what he has.
I don't see, so it's you.
Okay, there he is.
Not me taking any lit. Right away.
Keep him down, Vetro. Can you keep him down?
Not really. He can just peek up and trade with me.
Okay, Vetro's not going to be able to go to here. It has to be the healthier guy. So external, you're going to go here eventually.
Okay.
Sure?
Oh no, the E4's at the rocks.
I don't
think
any
situation's going to change. I'm going up because he just fired. He just fired. I'm going up right now.
Okay, let Dota get on hill and see what happens.
I'm going to take maybe a bird shot here.
Okay.
Just make sure to trade him out, Vetro, if he goes for it.
External for now, make sure this guy doesn't cross
Oh,
here.
Aggressor?
Oh, I can shoot that
I hit him
guy.
back. I hit him back.
Yeah, go out wide.
Alright, I took one hit. There's a bat on the island. Bats on the island. Bats on the island. Bats on the island.
Bats on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm coming. Make sure you hold them down, Brett.
I can't hold him off.
You know where on island?
Right here, I think, or there. But I can back. If Aggressor's still there, I can.
Yeah, he's still there. Cause I see him if he leaves. I see him if he backs up.
Okay. I'm not sure that I can force him
My
off
game
E4.
just stopped. My game just fucking froze.
Okay, then we should wait.
I hit Aggressor once.
Nice.
He's half health.
So don't play more near in the middle here.
Alright.
They can still push hill.
I bounced him.
I bet.
But I don't know. They have two out here and one down here, so they're pretty weak on the high ground.
The E4 was actually still behind the rock, but he may have gone over. There's no way to know.
You got lit? Okay, here comes the mid push.
Oh my god, how retarded is that? 100 peaked really wide.
I can't really spot mid. Bird
I
is
can
holding
sort of
me off.
spot it. I can sort of spot it.
There too.
I can see it, yeah.
T100 thinks that we have a bad shot.
Moss is turning towards the mid.
Yeah, no,
They know I'm not there anymore.
What way is he facing?
He's looking at impact. He's looking at impact.
Ox, they know we're not there anymore.
There's the E4.
I can shoot the E4. Hold on. Oh no, he left. Remove.
He's going. I have a shot on him too.
Mouse, cadê?
Nation, you just gotta pull back, man.
If you guys push hill, this 113 like either has to help island or hit you guys. So
We don't even need to push. No, I think about it. If we can live, we don't need to push. Okay?
I mean, what's that?
MLP's not on, man.
I'm not spotting A-line like at all anymore.
No, MLP's dead, so. Okay, we're just gonna have to hold now. They're gonna pick us apart slowly, but I mean, just not really a play we can do. There's a desperate play, but I don't know if it will work. We could just wait the 3 minutes out, try to out-trade them during late game, okay? We just need to live.
Have to pull back a little bit and just watch the boost, right?
Yeah. I mean, we just have to live, guys. That's it.
They're gonna pull this 113 over, I think.
They're gonna play 8-9 line for sure, but we just need to live.
I can't spot it anymore.
We can't really contest
Do
it.
we have eyes if this guy jumps down or no?
Yeah, I should. I mean, it's kind of sketchy though to poke that.
Dark and I can't kill Ox because
of a shot, guys.
Yeah, we can't punish him. We can't punish this 113.
Ox is like way out. Dude, Ox is like way out.
Oxtract. Bounce. Nice.
Just have to outlive, guys. Just have to live.
Mid.
Push. Okay. D4, rotate to hit that. Mouse, push up.
Mouse is poking on top. I'm gonna go kill this guy.
Alright.
Oh,
the bat's
fuck.
there, the bat's.
You wanna push hill?
Oh, I'm dead.
pushing behind.
No, oh, you can take this 113 out actually. Just come across, push across, push across. Yeah, push across into that 113.
113 shooting from behind.
No, I'm seeing like go up onto the hill.
know,
I think that's your best play.
Up on the hill? No, I can't.
No,
I can shoot the 113.
Pushing down. Pushing down.
Whatever, dude. You got it. You see the fuck's
Mouse is coming on top of us.
Harm, you need to make a play, I think.
Harm,
Yeah, I can't, dude.
You have to. No, you have to.
I'm gonna get one to Brett, Mr. Man.
Dark, you need to come with me if we want to kill these guys.
He's probably gonna kill me.
I'm dead.
Tell me when you're gonna go and I can push.
Okay, I'm coming.
Well, -3, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Alright, let's go.
Ox first.
113 fired.
Light tank, help me out real quick.
That's just.
Light tank, behind you guys. I'm gonna go down.
Dark, I'm not gonna get him.
Down.
Okay, I'll finish him off and go for the bat.
Alright. We're on Himmelsdorf, guys. Let's try it.
LP, you got clipped from the boost.
I can't, boys. We'll see.
And that went about as well as expected.
Yep. You could hear at the end there, they started shifting the conversation to Himmelsdorf. That'll happen usually when a decisive win like that comes about. As, well, Elevate on attack. I think Aggressor accepted defeat about 4 or 5 minutes in there.
Well, it's he sounded kind of like defeated, or kind of like he lost his will to live almost in a way, and he's sitting there just live over and over again. He's saying it in the dreary tone that he has right now, so it's kind of just an ironic message coming from him almost.
Well, the thing is, like, from his perspective, he just lost. He just lost an E4 in a crucial position.
Yeah.
Without that tank, you don't have nearly the support on a portion of the map that you need it. And with the loss of that one tank and without any real huge gains, you're resigned to that you'll eventually be torn apart. That's kind of the trick with this, is your defense needs to be generally perfect or it will be dismantled. Any errors on Mind's defense will be picked apart by a good team. And so, well, that's what you're looking at here. Only one tank dead.
Now we're going to look at the stats. Dodo coming up here with 3K, 72 fantasy points, driving off the cliff there with his mouse at the end. Ox and the 113 at 2600, 50 fantasy points. External and Impact, both about 64, not bad. Aggressor and Dark Ninja top for their team, and the Wallhacks rounding out that first page for Elevate.
Second
and then
page.
Mr. Man, 2 shots of damage. Bird, Vetro only able to get 1300 nationwide, and 123. Outside of scene 123 down there, but he got caught out. Nothing too surprising.
Yeah, but it still does hurt quite a lot.
Yeah, losing a tank who did no damage early on. That's if he does some damage and then goes down and gets picked off, it's one thing. But doing absolutely no damage
and getting torn apart like that, it
not good.
It hurts. Like you feel for him. Now we move on to Himmelsdorf, James, and well, this is an Elevate map. So the question for me is, Elevate, you're on attack first, or rather Dare, just what are you going to do to stop them?
The one thing I will say, my first memory of Deja Vu in the Gold League was
what you're referring
formerly
to
Dare Rising. Yeah. Their first season in the Gold League was them against then Apex on this map and running some of the craziest strats I had seen on this map in a long time. And looking at the lineups, 113, a 50B, 2 mice, Type 5, an E3, and a Batchat. Meanwhile, Dare Rising, an IS-4, a mouse, a Type 5, a 5A, 2 E3s, and a Batchat.
Well, decent defensive lineup, and the attack will be nice and slow. I'm guessing pressure towards the 2 cap in the end. It doesn't say there'll be much else than that.
They got the IS-4 to go play either the clock tower or that A5 pocket for Dare, so they should utilize that. And another thing to note, something that's been really popular since this Type 5 meta has come about is running the Spall liner on heavy tanks. We're going to see it on Dark Ninja here.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
And if you happen to ram a Batchat wearing it,
yeah,
amazing.
Now the one thing I will say, there was a couple questionable decisions I saw the other day though. I'll leave names out of it, but you drop vents for the Spall liner, and then on top of that, you then decide to run rations over a med kit.
Ooh.
Why not keep the med kit and just run vents instead of the Spall liner, and then be able to heal your crew?
Yeah. It's about it's more likely you're just going to take damage to your crew, and it's better to just be reactive in that sense and heal it than it is to try to prevent it in the first place, because most of the time in this game, it won't start... Well, it'll have no impact on heat or APCR or HE shells. Oh, wow. Wall hacks. Wall hacks is on fire. Wow. That's too bad. That hurts.
Speaking about running rations.
Yep. He's regretting that right now because that was...
What is it with Elevate and running rations and getting tanks caught on fire?
I mean, that's like kind of like bleeding edge efficiency type of thought process where if I play amazingly, it'll give me the edge to win. And if I catch fire, it was probably a situation when I'm getting torn apart anyway, or something like that.
Well, in a situation like that, you took one shot and you bled an extra, several hundred damage for it.
I'm not saying I agree with it, of course.
Right.
It's risk-reward kind of a thing. It's like if you're willing to take the risk, it can pay off, because if you're in a 1v1 scenario, you might win just because you fire a little faster or something. But
fair enough.
I'm trying to come up with the argument to support that side, because we can't just sit here and bash the idea because without someone here to defend it, right?
Right. Nope, two different trains of thoughts.
Yep. I'm glad that you're on my side, though, James. Fire extinguishers.
For once.
We agree on things and stuff, I think.
Sometimes.
On occasion.
So, looking at the setup from Elevate, not committing too far anywhere. Dodo is actually looking towards the zero line covering impact in the batch.
Very intently.
Yeah, he was just sitting there. Then he backed off. He's moved over towards the hill where you can see the 1-2 line.
Dun. Yes, he's in time.
No one's there.
Just like the way he moves his mouse around. It makes me feel like he's just talking and just doing that to accentuate what he's doing to him. And across the mid...
Scrolling in and out.
Let's go to someone with a little less of a happy scroll wheel. Brett. Brett's over here, out in the open.
He's going to find Mr. Man, and he's
like, Mr. Man, you know.
He angles his armor, but that's not going to be enough because Mr. Man is just going to put his shot through, and he's going to try to find the shot and actually sneaks one into his lower front plate.
No, that was someone else who got that the damage. Brett bounced. That was a bounce.
Oh.
Yeah. He tries to, but the lower
Dodo? Was that Dodo from the hill?
Yeah.
There we go. Different angle. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he also gets to throw those shells over. At the same time, it looks like Dare's having a little fun out in the track side. Aggressor deciding to come back up north, while Type 5 is finally going to move all the way up. It's Wally. All the way up towards the 2 cap. At the same time, our Batchat Canadian Impact is also going north, and the setup generally looks ready to deal with some 2 cap pressure, along with a fight on the south side of that. So, he pressures out the IS-4 that's waiting over on cap, and it'll just be a good few minutes, just chilling out.
Oh, and Dark Ninja takes an HE shell from Wally. Another 500 damage. Let's go. He's going to sit there and try to go back to side scraping. He hasn't actually spotted wall hacks. He knows that he's there because he took the damage, but he has not been able to actually light him through those angles.
Brett is the most focused human being. He has just been watching this tiny angle. Just being there. Just waiting. He's only focused on waiting for Mr. Man. He's done almost nothing else. Now he's finally going to, I guess, get a little distracted, decide maybe to go do other things.
Yeah, and Elevate have paid a pretty heavy toll so far this game. The damage off Brett, wall hacks, and external.
Look, 5A moving south. On the minimap, you've got Aggressor moving in. And Aggressor might be able to find Ox and put some pressure towards him. Or, look at this, nice shots towards Brett. He's got flank shots. And that's going to prompt Ox to move out.
It's going to have Mr. Man. Mr. Man's also going to cross the road. He's going to try to get closer to Brett, try to cover his teammates.
Yep, and there we go. Some shots into Aggressor. And that's actually going to allow Mr. Man to move as well. So this is nice moves from Dare as a response. They're actually putting the pressure back. And there it is. That's the pinch. Ox Mathis has been put into a trap.
Yeah, however, look who's the response is coming. Vetro and Impact and the Batchat are both coming over here, and they could catch out 1-2-3, and I think they have. They've put in a lot of damage into him already. 1-2-3 is trying to run, bounces one shot off the back of that Batchat, and he's going to be able to get out of there, but now Aggressor's stuck, and he's thought he had the play there and ends up going down. Elevator's actually still down on HP, but now Mr. Man is in an awkward position. Harmless and Bird are trying to push around onto external, but Wallhacks is going to join Brett, and this is going to turn out into one crazy brawl pretty quickly here.
Yeah, this has shifted from what was going to be a 2-cap pressure into really just a strange engagement altogether. Dark Ninja's finally moving in, actually, and Dodoma's left almost entirely behind.
Yeah, and 123 is going to recommit into the south, try to open up some of those angles, so we'll have to see if he's able to do anything as he comes off reload.
Nicely done from external. He's going to find a nice angle to engage with Dark Ninja, and everyone just all grouped up. Although the positioning from Dare I'm worried about, although, never mind, sorry, jumping back again. This is going to be a little bit weird. 123 is all the way in the south now, and he's moving up, and it's found by Vetro. There he is. Second shell, gets the kill. That's 2 down for Dare. And now with 7,900, there's a slight disadvantage, and the damage starts coming out on both sides. Here's the engagement. Looks like Harmless moves around. Look, where's Focus going? Harmless is going to put that towards Canadian. This damage gets out onto Bird and Harmless. They're both relatively good health.
Nationwide misses the shot onto Brett, taking some damage.
Dodoma's finally made it into a relevant position.
Brett goes down to Bird.
And that focus fire is not bad at all, although the cost is almost the entire hit points of Harmless there. Finally, he's down. And Vetro is at full health as well. Bird doesn't have a lot to keep himself alive. It's almost loaded.
Yeah, no, he could get a nice shot here onto the turret, and it doesn't penetrate. Only 528.
Hugely underwhelming damage against 50B. You want way higher rolls than that, way more damage. But, I mean, it's not like he gets to choose. And with minute 50 left. Wow, weird connection stuff happening right there. Looks like Nationwide's gonna go down. Please excuse the momentary craziness. It appears as though, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. This is what happens when you lose connection to the server sometimes. So, whatever is going on, it has stopped gameplay. So, because of that, we'll just come right back out and see what's going on.
Well, now Elevate are in a nice position right now, however...
And yeah, where we have left them in the battle, ladies and gentlemen, is 2 tanks alive, Bird and Mr. Man. As far as anyone could venture a guess, it should be another victory there.
So now we have to figure out whether it was a disconnect just from our observers, or if it was the entire match that was disconnected, and then from there they have to go and figure out if they're going to start with a replay, or if they're just going to decree the match was over and continue on. That's going to be up to the captains and the admins to figure out.
Yep. Well, no, actually, the battle would stand. If it wasn't able to resolve, it's possible that...
I am being told that it is confirmed a Elevate victory.
Good. Normally you would do that because of the kind of inevitable situation.
Yeah, so it was yeah, once again, if the whole match had disconnected, though, because not everyone was dead, I don't know that results.
No. If it was reasonable to declare a victor, that's one of the first things that the administrator would do. In the event of a disconnect late or not conclusive, it's the job of our administrators to determine and judge that.
Yeah. No, we haven't seen it much this season at all, but it happens, and now that is going to be Elevate extending their lead to 3-0 and picking that one up.
And
he had some connection issues. Now we get dropped like that, so
nothing
you can do about it, though.
But we'll just get ready for the next one, and we will just keep powering through, because we just have one more go on Himmelsdorf, James, if I'm correct, and then after that, we're going off to Proc. So altogether, this is just looking like Elevate just going to churn out 5 wins in a row. There are a few moments here where Dare's making them fight for it. So
we have some time to fill. Can we get an update on that Aquatic M60s match?
Absolutely, we can get an update on that one.
So it was left tied 4-4.
Aquatic M60s versus Teal Team 6. That's what's interesting. Teal Team 6 wins on attack on Ruinberg and not on defense.
Huh.
And that's how they got themselves back into the series. They went and took Prokhorovka twice, and then to a tiebreaker proc match where they won. Actually,
they closed it out on offense on Proc.
No, on Proc very quickly on offense, by the way. I'm looking at the timers. It looks like only about 2 minutes and 40 and 2 minutes and 30 seconds on both battles. So both times it was between Aquatic and Teal Team 6. And as we know, they have had no trouble holding defense on Himmelsdorf. So we're going to be looking to see, James, if Dare has anything up their sleeve as far as a counter or a sweet trick to try and beat Elevate here. Elevate strats are pretty well known as well.
Yeah, and with it being this close to the finals, I don't know that we'll see anything mind-blowing coming out of Elevate. They'll probably save a lot of the stuff they've been working on and just run older strats. The thing is, they're Elevate, so if they run older strats and just run them really well like no one else can, it's going to be enough to win anyways. So,
and ultimately, it'll be kind of the same deal for them no matter what. It's not, after you're good enough at Himmelsdorf, it isn't about just playing a set strat with certain specific positions. It's just about reacting in groups well enough, right?
Yeah, exactly,
like
and having that cohesion with your team.
Exactly, because altogether it's going to come down to some strange brawl. If it's corner games, sure, but you're not going to get too many corner games going your way if you're going to bring a lineup like Dare is going to bring with 50B, i7 mouse, Type 5, 5A, E3, and a Bat Chat versus the much better at corner games lineup.
I was having this discussion with one of our observers earlier today. You know, a tank like a Super Conqueror 215B is not a tank that you want to, you know, side scrape or play those corner games with because it only has the 400 alpha when you're going up versus Type 5s who, one, always do damage, and two, don't have to hit weak spots. You know, they're always going to win those trades compared to the lower. Yeah, and Derek keeping it kind of tight, just sending the one mouse down to the south of 50B. I7 got aggro on the 8 line there up to that first berm. He'll be able to spot all the way up to the 8 line and make sure no one rotates up there, tries to sneak up on their tank destroyer.
Participating in the WGLNA to our fans, 07, and thank you. That's from Meadowhawk. He's always such a good sport about everything. And he'll be joining us for the finals, possibly. I hope he comes on out.
He has for the last couple. I don't see why he wouldn't for the next.
He's becoming a staple of the entire event. Him and B-Ted.
Yeah, good to have both of them here. They're well side of the E3s. The rest of them are in positions where they can kind of rotate around and cover teammates and move over to one side or the other pretty quickly.
Yeah, and altogether it's just waiting to see what Dare does on the attack here. Are they going?
I'd rather do that, yeah.
Okay. And it's just a move.
I don't think the 50B is here anymore. This mouse probably just gonna be careful now. Okay, let's see. Dark, you're going.
I got lit when I did this cross though.
Dark, just get dark. Go close. Ox shot, let's go. Ox shot, let's go. We're doing the play.
Yep.
Can they reload?
Yeah, I think you.
There it is. I wasn't able to get a shot on him. They can still be. They can still be.
I'm coming up to come behind you.
I'm not watching coloring, I'm watching Ox.
Yeah, I know.
Heavy turn 4, so they're in mid somewhere.
Gonna set up for a shot.
Yep. Dark will move in, get on cap, use his mouse as a shield, put bird counts, and there you go. That's double cap. That'll be 56 seconds of waiting to see what's going to happen there. As corner games are going to come out from Ox and from Brett. What are they doing now? What exactly are they about? Looks like Ox is getting ready to start splashing out cap, and Brett's just sitting there waiting for to watch Ox's back. Standard stuff, nothing crazy.
Yeah, another few seconds here, Ox might make this poke around the corner, try to get the reset.
And at the same time, they're going to expect Mr. Man to peek, but I think the players are just fine altogether.
Yeah, but it most likely will not be enough as Bird does take him down. And now Vetro does go down. Dodo still trying to stay alive. Gets one shot off before he goes down. Brett doing what he can to angle his ones left.
6 seconds. No one's coming for wall hacks. No, 1, 2, 3.
Again, that's going to be cap.
That's it. And
that is going to make it 3-1. So Dare Rising showing they have a little bit of fight in them. Getting the one round there. And Elevate just dropping the ball a little bit on defense.
Wait, really? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cap.
Yeah, it's going so straight. Sorry, it's hard to follow.
Yeah, no, it's not perfect. Hopefully the issues will get resolved soon.
Hopefully. But in the meantime, it looks like things are going okay on their end. And, well, that's going to be a point on the board for Dare. I mean, we were expecting at least something.
Yep.
And it was bound to happen eventually. There we go.
Now we are going to move on to Prokhorovka next.
Yes. And this is a place where Dare has a decent, if okay, chance. But before we get to that, let's just kind of go back to this battle where Elevate held the best they could, but Dare did, in fact, put up a systematic kind of
Well, with the Type 5s and the E3s, you know, just kind of slow to rotate around, and Dare had the flexibility on their side, and they were able to kind of force Elevate to go where they wanted them to go, and they did a good job at focusing out tanks and really chipping them down. So overall, it's just good play by Dare, and Harmless and Nationwide top damage dealers 3,700 and 3,400, both 70 fantasy points apiece, not bad. Brett doing what he could for Elevate to 3K, 64 fantasy points, 1 to 3. Aggressor and Bird rounded out for Dare, and Dodo getting off 2K. And we're going to find the rest of Elevate on page 2. Going to see not a whole lot of damage going out of him. Impact and External about 1,800 apiece. Wallhack 1,700. Vetro all the way down 1,400, and Ox getting focused out rather early on. Kind of got bullied around there in the north, boxed into a awkward position with guns on both sides. Really tough to play. And,
but it was well done by Dare. It was actually a completely deliberate kind of a thing. That's what you have to appreciate about it. Is like when it's a clearly deliberate choice for the team that comes out ahead. You have to appreciate it, right? Because they meant for things like that to happen.
Yeah,
defenders, sometimes there's no way to avoid it.
Yeah, and I completely agree. You know, they spotted Ox looking down the 8 line, so they knew they couldn't leave with them having eyes, or Dare having eyes on the B line, for example. And so they were able to set up to have angles on both sides. You know, Mr. Man played that corner beautifully in the bat chat, and then the Type 5 and the 5A on Cap, they were ready for him, and so they were just able to chip him down slowly as he tried to poke to get resets, and really made life difficult for him.
Now, as we get on Proc, what could be the last map of the series. One here will put Elevate to 4. After that, they could see about finishing the series out, but if Dare picks up a win here, that'll be great for them. As looking at the lineups, 113, 3 IS-7s, a Sturf, 2 Bat Chats for Elevate. Dare bringing an IS-7, 2 5As, a Grill 15, and 3 Bat Chats.
So Mr. Man playing that Grill, we've seen it twice now this week. We didn't really see it all season, and then we've seen it twice in 1 week. So we'll have to see if they can utilize it. You know, we were talking about before, it lacks in the overall DPM, but
it's hard.
It hits very hard. So playing corner games or trying to knock down a push, you know, give your team the lead as a push starts early. If it can, you know, land some nice shots, that can be very effective. And when you have a player like Mr. Man playing that Grill, you know, I expect to see good things out of it. And he's actually going to follow the Bat Chats, which it's fast enough to do.
This is the same thing we saw last time I saw a Grill. The exact same kind of play. Move on in, try and cover the bats. What they're going to do is they're just going to kind of, I guess, blitz is really what it is. They're just going to move forward, try and find something, and kill it. Mr. Man's job is to shoot at it. For example, Canadian Impact, as can be seen, actually cannot be seen through all of the bushes. These labels there, though, trust me. There he is. See? He's playing hard to get. Just a minute, he'll be fine. But elsewhere on the map, everything from Elevate is stacking up, realizing that this is an east side play, and it's happening quickly. And because it's happening so quickly, time is going to be a factor here, as Elevate will have plenty of it to try and figure out how to defend.
Shots going back and forth, mostly into the dirt, though. Few connections coming out here finally.
You know what? Instead of taking the riskier shot, take a thinner, less probable, and don't risk getting, well, completely destroyed like Nationwide is right now. And that's by Canadian.
By Harmless. He's going to get up there. He's going to take down Canadian Impact. That's going to be a free pick for Dare.
Nicely done. Exactly what they want.
Now, I expect to see maybe...
here's the push up and over. Dodo and Brett deciding that they don't really want to wait on that side of the tracks, and they will begin focus firing into Nationwide. Looks like some support fire coming in as well. And there's Nationwide. You deciding to die.
Back himself up, be the sacrificial lamb. Now Mr. Man's going to come in there and try to get some shots into the sides here. And they're going to push around. These Bat Chats need to find a way to be effective. I really like how Elevate played that, kind of kited their tanks in the north away so they couldn't be easily overmatched. Well, the Heavies pushed in, and that left the Bat Chats in the middle and nowhere, and they haven't been able to really contribute to this fight at all.
And there we go. Aggressor getting focused out now. Brett might finally go down. Dodo as well, maybe. Everything on Elevate is incredibly low hit points. It's actually great for Bat Chats. It's exactly what they want.
Yeah, but there's 2 one-shot tanks alive. They find one of them.
And now it's a 4v4.
And Brett goes down to Harmless.
Now it's a 3v4.
Now Mr. Man should be able to find a shot on External as he runs across this field.
And these guys are really...
And he actually, Mr. Man gets the track shot, doesn't pen. But these Bat Chats are going to be mostly reloading here soon. Harmless is going to try to drive away. They get some track shots on External.
External's bouncing a significant number of shells, by the way.
Yeah. And now Mr. Man should have the finishing blow onto External here. Doesn't quite land it yet. He's still looking for it. And Gets bumped into by Vetro, it looks like. Doesn't land the shot. And now External's going to land the shot onto Mr. Man. And the Batchheads are going to have more time to get back into the bushes and reload. Harmless is going to get up on the hill for some covering fire. And Mr. Man bounces another shot onto External.